What's up? What's up? What's up? Jason Scott, how are you, my friend? Yes, we are one day closer. Uh-oh. AB just got coiled again. Stacia, how are you doing? I was just setting up the Discord with for people for the Discord to speak in the background, and uh, sorry, I'm trying to add. Sorry. All right. What's up in the clutch? Yes, I got some cool things for us to talk about. Gloria, it was a pleasure last night. That I was able to speak with you. And so it was also a pleasure to chat with you, Tiny. It was fun. It was a special experience, actually. I'm waiting for Tell Dog because he just sent me something about Bitcoin. And the funny thing is, some of you guys might remember uh, me talking about uh, Bitcoin and its support and resistance level. And I've had this thing about thank you, Stacia. I've had this thing about Bitcoin having a support and a resistance line around 31,400, and it kept dancing around that yesterday, the day before yesterday. Excuse me, it ripped out of it, went up to 32,000. It peaked barely, and then it dropped back down, and it continued to dance around that. In fact, yesterday when it dropped, it went down to 31,000 and $356, which was like literally like barely a peak, and then it went right above that 31,400. Now, the thing is, I also said that you would have to be watching out for like I expected that it was going to be on the downside a little more because being above the support or dancing around the resistance and not have the buying pressure that could actually take you on the next leg up means it's going to be a fake out, and you'll be obviously watching a drop. And we're watching that happen today, obviously. As I said, it wasn't going to be something that it was going to stick there in that level for a while. It's either going to take a major leap from that level, or it's going to take a major drop from that point on out. And obviously, as you guys can see, that's the case as far as uh, with Bitcoin and the other cryptos is that it's a drop. It's not obviously a leap. 3, 2, 1. So yeah. So I'm assuming Till Dog is in the house. What's up, Radwan? How are you doing, my friend? Um, how are you, brother? Can anyone actually 1 second? Let me see this. Let me see. Can um, Stacia, are you? Well, no, I don't want to put it on the spot now. 1 second. I'm trying to add the sync. Hopefully that doesn't ruin our, you know, live. Because I'm connecting the Discord over to here, and I think it's gonna be cool to have people come on sometimes, and different people sometimes on the Discord and just kind of speak their two piece on there. Okay. Really? I have to put all the roles again? Seriously? All right, one moment. I think, yeah. If you are a member on here, go do me a big favor and go on the Discord if you're already on the Discord and actually try to see if you can see this. See if you can see this, because if you can, that means we could go ahead and possibly see if we could get your voice on here as well. I just want to test to see if it worked. If not, I'll wait until Jeffrey's around and I'll see if he has 1 or 2 cents about it. Peter Jefferson, hey, what's good, bro? AMC and others took a dump. Good news is I don't have to wear a uniform shirt for work since it's summer now. That's very good news. And honestly, I don't think we took like a dump, as in like, obviously 9% down is still down, or 10% down obviously is down. But we've seen much worse than this. Right now, we currently are going to have the Gamestop earnings come around, and I know they're going to keep saying that it's expected to have this loss or per share. But again, I made this very clear in previous lives, guys, about with different stocks. What company is out of the woodworks from the 2020 shutdown? Every company is going to report something like that. What's more enticing is are companies that are reporting bigger revenues, and that's what you're going to look at, because it's going to take a little bit of time for everybody to go back, or every company to go back to pre-pandemic levels of business. But the crazy part is that the media spins it off to whatever narrative it wants. So like if it's GameStop or AMC, we're expecting, let me see, a little bit down. Perfect. I had to fix the camera. But yeah, with AMC and GameStop, you'll have, obviously they'll spin the narrative in a negative manner, and obviously we get screwed. You'll see it on the reflecting on the price of the stock. But on other stocks, they could report stuff like that and just have, like, the media can spin it and focus on the earnings and say that the revenue was much higher than last year's quarter. And they'll go up 65% or 100% or whatnot. So it's just, we know at the end of the day, when it comes to us or to the meme stocks or to our favorite stocks, obviously all the rules change and everything seems to bend. Well, we're going to have a lot of, prepare yourself mentally now for just these 24 hours, these next 24 hours, including like tomorrow. I'm going to go out on a limb and actually think that tomorrow is going to be a green day. And this is, again, a guess. It's not something where fact check me and it's going to be wrong. And the reason why I'm inclined to say something like this is one, everything is going to, like, the reality of June is going to set in tomorrow, and is going to just set in from the perspective of, like, oh shit, they're gonna dump 45 billion in assets, like the Feds, that is soon. And in the same time, we got the SFTs that, again, I'm gonna now talk about. I know a lot of you have a lot of questions about. I was fortunate enough to also put my brain with some other smooth brains last night, and they know who they are. And I like what was coming out of that, or what brewed, the kind of coffee that brewed out of that. There's going to be two sides, okay? And you don't necessarily need to be in a position where you choose either of the sides, because at the end of the day, the destination is the same, in my humble opinion. So we'll get into that now. But as we speak, first of all, we got Bitcoin dropping down in the 29,000. It was 29.3 at some point. And I think we're going to witness a bigger drop even later on tonight, leading into tomorrow probably. And then I see that the meme stocks do a surge out of nowhere, possibly maybe tomorrow. I'm expecting it something like that. We'll see. Again, we'll see. It's not that I'm making it, again, it's just a feeling or a suggestion, looking at the technicals and where we're bouncing off from, because as far as I could see on AMC, the lowest we were supposed to drop to as far as on a technical level was around 1291, 1290. And today, as you can see, the lowest was 1280, which means, like, we barely peaked under it. I mean, that was me looking at the chart. So it's like it's respecting those levels for sure. Now here's the thing that I want everybody to, if my chart will work with me. After the 1290, it went back up, and then we ended up closing at 1281. We're actually right at that. Tomorrow, once we open, guys, if we drop below that, then I can see us fall below. And this is going to be like really tough to look at. But from what I'm seeing here is that we're making higher highs and higher lows as of this moment. At this point, as we speak, after today's close, we're making higher highs and higher lows. If we go up tomorrow, that definitely confirms that 100% for me, which means we're going to be looking at a stretch of maybe one more wave into Friday of moving up. And then we'll see what happens with, depending on how you look at it, whether you look at it via Fibonacci retracements, whether you're looking at it as an Elliott's waves theories. I like Elliott's a little bit more sometimes when it comes to these, because it makes you look at a much more broad picture on things, and you can look at the technicals on a much more bigger time frame, and you could also see the waves that are moving, because you'll have to have 5 waves with Elliott's theories. And with the 5 waves, there's also sometimes the only issue with that, because again, all technicals are not 100%, but the only issue with Elliott's is that sometimes you'll have a wave that could have within it, you could have an ABC movement, so it could be a little more stretched out wave. So we'll see. Honestly, I am feeling very bullish, so we'll see where that will take us. Also, how weird, just as a side question, how weird is it to all of you guys that, one, if you watch level 2 datas, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. As scrutinized as they are, as manipulated as they are, that level 2 datas are not even what they used to be just even a month and a half ago. Something is happening in the back, and I can't put my finger on it, but something is happening, guys. And the numbers show for it. Now, that's one end. On the second end, how do we go over 100 million on volume just yesterday, and then today we barely get to even 55? Most of the day was slow on the most day in the beginning of the day. It kind of almost like makes no sense as far as like volume perspective. It's just weird. Like, things just don't move like that. When you have that much average in one day, something is happening. There's some bullish sentiment, and obviously we need to have reflective on the price. But we're having one day like that, and one day we have 40 million volume. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that by the end of this week. Let's see. Let me read some of these comments, and then we're going to talk about the SFTs and the nscc ruling. Okay, guys? So today we're going to stay up to date with this. Now, can anybody tell, is anybody in the Discord? If you're there, can you hear me? Do I have to do any integrations? Add members. Sorry, I'm adding people. Let's see. Future Whale, I know you're in here. How are you, my friend? So, Future, are you in here? Sorry, not to put you on the spot, my friend. What's up, Frankie Muhammad? How are you, my brother? Maddox, how are you, my friend? Hey, AB, do you have any, or do you have an idea, not any idea, why, if we are so wrong about this play, why the other side spends their resources and media to tell us? Why not just let us be dumb money? Just a thought. Uh, well, see, here's the thing, Maddox, is like that is very true. I mean, you're not the that's echoing that sentiment. Um, at the end of the day, people, and this is retail and anyone, people normally when they put something and they're like looking at out for them in the future. So basically, an investment. You're gonna look at it in a completely different manner than you know other things that you could, like, for example, like, oh, necessities that you need in life. Like, you could get by without certain things, but investment, you take it differently and you go about it differently. So here's the thing: we know the final outcome. At least majority of the people on the movement, or who was with the movement for the longest time ever, we know where this is going. Okay. Now, there are a lot of people that joined the hype or joined the train based upon the hype, FOMO, what they heard from a family member or a friend. At the end of the day, the you're correct. Like, why are they, if they know that this is a hopeless cause, why would they spend even a penny on a hopeless cause? You're very correct, Maddox. And the problem with retail investors, or not all of them, obviously, for a certain percentage, is that they want immediate answers almost all around the clock. So, for example, they're not used to this whole dumping your money into this. And obviously, you hear a lot of negative sentiment and a lot of negative media about it and press. So you're always worried, like, oh, what if I wake up tomorrow and all my money is gone? There is a big amount that are out there that are like that. I'm not saying Maddox is like that, or Radwan, or anybody else in here are like that, but I'm saying there are those people. And even if they don't say it, they are feeling it and they act like it. So that's why they go searching for answers almost every 5 minutes, because they're afraid that their whole entire investment is going to go away. Now, you helped defeat logic, or not help defeat logic, sorry. You helped make logic with logic. And that's like kind of very, it's the simplest way of making sense to anything or to anyone or on any matter. You just literally said, if this was a hopeless cause, why are they even spending a single penny or even taking a second out of their time that they can't get back to address something that's a lost cause? So you're absolutely correct. And that's a very good point. But again, you can't defeat the fact that there are those people out there that just wants to know, and they really never came into these plays, whether it's GME or AMC, or any other meme stock for that matter, and they came in without that conviction. They just came in with that hype, and whoever got them in, or whatever creator, YouTuber, or family member told them, "I promised you, like, trust me, bro." So now they got their hand on their heart, and it's like, is this the day? Best news today was the other side admitting an economic hurricane is coming. We will skyrocket sooner than later. It's very correct as well, Peter Jefferson. Hanzo, I love the new symbol, obviously the butterfly, and I like the new profile pic. Uh, I would have never imagined, obviously, you would be this gorgeous. Putting me on the spot when I said something about the portfolio. I had to. But obviously, I'm stating the obvious. Adrian, okay, folks, calm down. Mr. Awesome has arrived, but please stay focused to what AB is saying. Mr. Awesome is you, Adrian. Thank you so much for the compliment. Now, Adrian, do me a great favor. See if you can go into the Discord, and I don't know if it'll allow you to speak or not, but let's see. I'm trying to figure this out. And Jeffrey, I think, would know one or two things. Um, but I'm trying to get the Discord to be a part of the lives and speak. Okay, boom. I just gave this. Good. All right. Let's see. If it does, let me know, brother. Or I can hear you in the background if you do. Da, 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 da. My day is going great, by the way. Thanks for asking, Adrian. Although I am not as filled with sleep because I had a dentist appointment earlier, and I was on a call last night early until the early a.m. Um, and the dentist was like, "You really do want to do this deep cleaning without any anesthetics and whatnot?" And yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I don't want no anesthetics or any of that stuff because." Uh, I'm just worried about it. Like, some stuff like that. I don't know, man. It was painful though, but I didn't make a single sound. She was actually going out of her way. I felt like at some point to try to make it a little more painful to see like there's no way that this person is just doing it and he's like I just had my eyes closed and just my mouth open, which I hate because every time I come back, I feel like my jaw is screwed up because it stays open the whole time. Not that you guys had to know, obviously. Derek A. How are you, Derek? I notice you. How are you, my friend? And who else do we have? Dana. How are you, my friend? It's been a minute. Hopefully everything is going great with you. Thanks for asking the likes. Appreciate it, Dana. Uh, Christopher Santos, how are you, my friend? So Peterson, AB, I know something major is coming. When you lose over 50 years of experience in the SCC out of nowhere, yeah, right. Okay. Okay, it's going through this, doing well. Thanks. I enjoyed the Discord discussion last night. Well, it was a privilege. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining, and it was definitely indeed a lot of fun. Jeffrey, I am trying to connect the Discord. I see that you're here now, and I am having some problems. I think I've got it connected. I got to the point where it's connected to my YouTube now, but I'm trying to get the Discord now to be able to speak in the background. You know how? Adrian, oh my God, I do the same thing. For all I know, AB could be talking some messed up. I always hit the like first. Well, thanks for the leap of faith, Dana. And I'll make sure I'll do my best to honor it. I won't let you fall. Hanzo, you don't need to thank me. I'm just stating the obvious. Um, Pabloco, what's up, brother? You too. We're about to get you on this Discord, man, to speak in the background. All right. Richard Mock, my friend, how are you doing? Missed you yesterday. And thanks for asking. I am personally having a great day. Just painful, you know, teeth gums. Yeah, well, you had to get coiled to come in here, tell dog. Jason Bimo, how are you, my friend? And Leah, how are you? All right, since we've caught up, let me see. I think I've received some things in the Discord. Let me see what they're saying. Maybe it's Jeffrey telling me, like, hey, look here, nut job. Here's how you do this. Uh oh. Adrian, I just saw that, man. That's like the most painful meme I've ever seen in my life. A personal one. I see. I like these things, tell dog. You know, the other day, speaking of this, just as a side note, by the way, you know what happened, Tell Dog? When I asked you what's your take on Solana, remember, I never got the chance to actually speak. The reason why I asked you about it. And here's the thing. I haven't done an extensive background on Solana or any of that. And I'm not a crypto guru, neither am a stock guru or a financial advisor. With that being said, Solana, my issue with it is it had an unlimited supply as far as what I've seen on the chain. And when I see stuff like that, it's kind of like a little something that even worried me about Doge. And I know, okay, when we talk about Doge, I understand there's some of us in here that loves Doge or is into Doge. Heck, I know a lot about Doge because I was on that movement when it skyrocketed back in January of 2021. I remember it. I got into it like way back when the pandemic first hit. So I know a lot about Doge. But here's the problem with Doge for me also is that supply. And I know it's something that can be changed. Like at any given moment, they can upgrade it or update it. And that's something that could happen. I know when I was doing my research back then, that's something that I knew was in the works or could at any given time happen. For as far as we know, Elon could add that to his Dojo computer. That's the most powerful server on the planet. So he could easily put Doge on that server, and the rest is history at that point. So we can see what happens. But I am trying to get the Discord people to speak. Um, so, Diaz, how are you, my brother? It was a privilege to have you the other night. Last night. Thank you for stopping by. It was fun to chat with you. Um, Adrian, you're a mess. And Sagaro, how are you doing, my friend? I'm glad to hear that, Jason. That's wonderful news, brother. Um, okay, so Jeffrey or Tell Dog or even Diaz in this for this matter, because he's got some previous experience in this. Um, in your guys' free time, I'm not gonna bother anybody anymore because right now it's live chat time. I would like if anybody could help me set up the Discord to be able to be linked to the channel, which I've already did. So now YouTube is linked to the Discord, but I want to be able to make the people on the Discord to go ahead and speak, um, as well. So if any of you gentlemen or ladies and gentlemen in here has any definitive ideas on how that works, please, I'll be in your debt. I linked it to the at the bottom. There is YouTube, and it was the AB Investments one. No, well, no shit. Is it? Yeah. I see Alval is in the general in the voice channels, but I put it under YouTube. And actually, you might be correct, Adrian. Pantheon will be Huckleberry. Yes, I see. Um, okay, maybe yeah, it should be AB Investments. It's open. Uh huh. There we go. The problem is I don't want to go ahead and start or practice on another live, and everybody comes in thinking it's an actual live, but it's not. That happened before, and oh my god, so many people got mad after. Okay, let's see. Here's all right, Adrian. You are about to be able to do a few more things. Sorry if I'm boring you guys. Almost, I'm done. I'm done. I promised I will not take any more of your time. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I think this is it. If it doesn't work, we could come back to it at a different time, of course. Um, but yes, the two YouTube channels are text only. Ah, okay. I see. You know, AB is not the smartest guy in the world. That's a given fact. You don't need to go anywhere to know this. All right, perfect. Thanks for that, Diaz. I will, Adrian. Sorry, thank you for that. I will definitely get on that after we finish, and then get back to it. And next time we'll have it going. Uh, well, appreciate the gesture, Diaz. Thank you so much for that. Well, you know, you guys rock. That's why I might be coming off this way. A happy AMC June 2nd Memorial, yo. Yeah, right. I think it's gonna be a special day. Um, so as far as the SFTs, guys, and the whole thing that is happening, and uh, okay, so we do know now, like, you know, there's two, like I told you guys, there's two options, and neither can be wrong, and neither could be also correct. You never know. At the end of the day, we didn't get into this play for, you know, any set a particular moment, knowing 100% that there's going to be that moment, unless obviously we had some insider trading tips that tell us what we need to know, or a crystal ball that everybody else doesn't have. It's just us, I guess. But that's not the case, right? So the SFTs and the nscc ruling, as far as, yes, this is my spin on it, guys. Okay, there's many opinions out there. This is just AB has to put his opinion in, and for whatever it's worth, you know, obviously everybody is entitled to their own. Obviously, you guys in the comments can definitely, you know, chat about it. Now, here's the thing. My 2 cents on it is that it could, yes, be something that could be obviously have been implemented so that they can derail our movement and somehow address the, you know, all that worthless collateral that they still have on their hands and up until now. But that's one option, and I believe that's what, to a certain extent, I feel like that's where yesterday Bigums was referring to. Again, not talking about Bigums here or anyone like in a bad way. Again, everybody speaks their opinion. I'm just saying that I feel like that's where his sentiment is. Now, my personal sentiment is with the other option, which is, and I've said this on a call yesterday with some really intelligent people, that, you know, I was you know, the kind of like the fourth leg or the third leg of the chair with these people, but it was fun. I was glad that they had me on that conversation. But my personal touch on that whole thing is that it could also been implemented so it can, one, prevent stuff like what's happening now or what we're about to have from happening ever again, which again, to us, that still benefits us. The future, it's not the very bright for the people coming in later or in the future after this movement, post movements. And they could very well have implemented this so that the nscc can just go ahead and distribute more money on a much quicker scale out via to all the other brokers or banks in this case. Um, and that way the Fed is also out of the picture, because, you know, they're now going away from the buying business to the selling their assets business, which is, remember this, look at outside and look at your life on an everyday life and see how it's affected so far by inflation and everything. And then that, like, remember that all that is happening still with what you just came up with, whatever you just imagined. Just remember that all that is still going to be here. but it's even going to get worse. How is it going to get worse? Because the Fed are going to start basically sucking liquidity out of the market by selling their balance sheets that they've been accumulating, which is almost $8 trillion. And they say they're going to be done with that by the end of 2023. Now, um, is it going to curb inflation? Well, yeah. If nobody has money to buy something, and if money is very scarce, yes, it could raise the value of the dollar, or because it's going to be like they're going to be very hard to come by at some point. But in the same time, you're not going to have an economy. And that's the truth of the matter. When you have Janet Yellen come out yesterday or the day before yesterday saying, "Oh, I was wrong about inflation and it wasn't transitory all along," well, no shit. Everybody have been saying this, including retail, which is, by the way, supposed to be dumb money, right? We're supposed to be dumb money. We don't understand what's happening. We've been calling for this inflation that's going to be rocking the core of this nation, and globally for that matter now, for the better part of over a year and a half. We've been calling this since 2020. Believe it or not, since the end of 2020, we've already been calling this. Experts that are just financial experts, aside from the plays and the market, have been labeling this crazy, like what the government was doing, putting out a lot of stimuluses and all that stuff. And now we even have the problem or the debate about the student loans. I know if I, for example, I have a younger sibling, who would benefit a lot from that. But do you know how much the rest of the people or the rest of the country will pay just so that that can be covered? Because all that will reflect into your own everyday life. It's going to incorporate into your everyday life, as far as whether taxes being heightened or whatever the case may be. No, but that's going to be incorporated. So we're in a big like crossroads, and all roads are leading at this point are leading to a very tough lifestyle coming for the ones that don't have financial stability, at least for the most part. Now, how do we put all this back in together and bottle it up as far as for the nscc rule? Whether it does go into effect so that it can help distribute our cash to us, that's one. Two, whether it is, yes, a mechanism for them to better yet, kick the can down the road. The ultimate, like this plus this, or this minus this, or this equals, we're still gonna MOAS. Nothing like, okay, delaying something doesn't mean it's finished, right? That's in case that's the case. But I'm still, like I said, my personal sentiment, and I'm more bullish, because again, you have to choose your words wisely here. And even though I'm not advising anyone, but I still care, like I hold my opinion to the highest of standards, like personally. So when I give you an opinion, I'm not just throwing some words. I'm throwing some words, but with a lot of meaning to myself. Because obviously, if my opinion is like in this matter was wrong, I'm not going to say, well, obviously my life is over. But in the same time, I'll definitely be let down, not just from the AMC or GME perspective, or the meme stocks or the market perspective, but because when I've put 1 and 1 or 2 and 2 together and it doesn't work, it plays with me. I'm gonna be honest, it does play with me, because I put a deep thought into things almost on every level, whether it's something simple, whether it's family situation, whether it's a business situation, anything. I put my all into it. Again, I'm a strategist, and I love strategizing about things and putting things in perspective in so many different roles to finally come out with the best possible outcome. So if it's not right, it gets to me, because I put a lot of time onto that thought in my head, whether it was not physically working, but it was a lot of work in here, like that I just entertained and kept thinking about. While people want to do some other stuff or enjoy watching stuff or listening with other people or talking with other people, sometimes I take, or all the time, I actually take my time and go to the back, whether in my backyard or somewhere where I'm just isolated, and I put things together and see which one fits best, which scenario fits best. And, usually it comes out correct. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that everybody, or I'm supposed to always be correct, but I'll definitely be let down. So when I tell you that my sentiment, my opinion on the matter is that they're being put in so that they could help distribute our money faster or easier, that's honestly what I think is the case. Um, but either of those situations or either of those ideas or those thoughts or opinions are valid, and yes, it could be either this or this, but the ultimate result is the same. At the end of the day, I know I'll speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for everyone else, but I'll speak for myself and say I didn't get into AMC back in September of 2020 or GME also like around that time frame. I didn't get into those plays then, so I could come off almost 2 years later, because in September it'll be 2 years, and say, oh, if it doesn't happen by June 5th or 7th, or if it doesn't happen by September the 3rd, then oh my God, no, I can't do this. No, I'm just gonna lose. Like, obviously that's not the case that was happening with me. I've already said my mission to all of you, community, beloved family members in here. My personal mission was always, the longer this takes, the more opportunity they give me to accumulate more. So it's more on them, not on me. I'm not over leveraged. You're not supposed to leverage yourself, if you know what I'm saying. So don't leverage yourself. And at the end of the day, all the pressure is on them, not on you. Now, of course, I would love to get paid today before tomorrow, or back in January of 2021, for that matter, because I got in September and it's like by January, it's like, oh my God, that was 3 months. That was 3 full months. Like, my God, that was a long time. And I know there's some that are coming into the community and they're like that, but I'm like, hey, imagine going through this crap for 2 years and it only gets worse and worse and worse. Like, you really have to have really strong conviction. And at the end of the day, it's not a medal of honor. At the same time, because it's only going to be for me, like the results of this are going to be for me, whether disastrous or great. I'm the one who's going to be solely benefiting from this, no one else. Yes, as a community, we all are going to be together collectively, feel great about this, but every person's situation only benefits them or screws them. So if you put yourself in a situation where you're over leveraged on stuff, then you really, again, you make that cup and you're going to drink from it. I always say that you drink from the cup you make, or you drink the coffee that you brew in life. That's just how life is. But it's not the end as well. It's like, guys, before AMC and GME and meme stock talk and all this stuff came around, and before even AB thought about ever being on YouTube, there was always that other hustle. Like, life had a purpose, right? You guys were doing your thing. None of this was thought about. Guess what? Something like this popped up. And you know what it gave us? Like, I've always said that the true wealth in this whole thing is the journey, not the ultimate result. I know you've heard me countless times, amount of times saying that. But truthfully, I feel like, look at our community here. Honestly, I can easily say, and speaking about myself here, that many of us, but mainly me, have been looking for like-minded individuals or people to make my circle bigger as far as family and friends, because they're hard to come by. And if it wasn't for the internet or technology, or even for this matter, YouTube, I wouldn't have met all of you amazing people. Like, now I definitely have a family, like a second family besides my immediate family. And I hope you guys also view me as part of your family as well. That's what I always advocate for, that, because at the end of the day, we are all the human, and we are all, well, we're not all the human. We are all human, and we are all, looking for the same thing, and we want to just have a quality of life. And I know that. I know you want to have the quality of life the way that you see it. You have the right. Everybody has the right to that. You just have to go through this crap in this world. And once you get through it, your true wealth will be defined in the journey that you've been through, because millions of other people don't know what it means to go through what we've been going through, people. You go outside and meet a random person, okay? And try to assure them as much as possible. Tell them like, hey, if you give me $10, I promise you, and by like tomorrow I'll bring it back 20. I mean, it's a good offer, right? 100% profit. Forget the increments, but 100% profit overnight. The problem is, good luck confirming that with them. Even if it's $10, like I said, even if it's $10, good luck, unless they're that person who's giving it to you and saying like, hey, even if you don't come back, I'm not really worried about it. But most people are going to be like, no, why would I lose this? I know you're not going to come back. Like, they're going to think twice about it. You all are different than that. I know it's not as simple as that. It's not like you all went outside and gave somebody your money. But you're in a way, if you think on it, you gave your money to people you don't know. All these brokers that took the money and gave you shares, and obviously majority of them are even synthetic FTDs parked on aisle 25. But you did it anyways, and we knew what was happening all along for this better part of the past year and a half. You still went and deposited more money. You know, when they say the true definition of insanity is to do something over and over again, only to expect the same results, you guys are definitely insane, but good insane. Insane that shouldn't even, like, that's the way that life should be, because you guys are putting your money on something with a big possibility. Like, you know that you're going through sharks, you're going through all sorts of cutthroats. It's people who would drain your bank account and not even think twice about like feeling bad or have any remorse for what they did, or if you were going to sleep in a home at night, or with a roof over your head, or on the streets, who knows, maybe with a syringe in your arm, because again, things spiral, right? They don't even give a shit. I know that. But you people are very special because you were able to go through all that mentally, that mental trip, and still do it. And yet, guess what? At the end of the day, in my opinion, that true wealth is going to be, will always be, would have been in the movement itself. I heard some people that I spoke to on the call, and one of them was, because I have to quote him here. I don't like to, share the private business, but Randall Cornett, he said something that, and he kept echoing this. He kept saying that, hey, I am truly at a point where he knows his wealth was in this movement, in this journey, and he's obviously looking for the MOAS, like the final touch, or the cherry on top is the MOAS. But afterwards, he knows, he personally feels, to the best of his knowledge, he feels like he's set, or he's good, because he's learned so much along the way that he knows that he can do so much with down the line. And obviously, that's amazing to hear. I feel like everybody's going to be on that point, because over a year and a half, you guys heard me even say this statement before. You guys been through the craziest of hells, and you're still here. Do you think anything else in the future can mess with you people? This is the craziest conditions that the stock market have absolutely ever seen. The most corrupt, the most insidious, the most insane market times ever. Forget 2008. You could put that in the, those jeans you wear and you got like a pocket, and in front of that pocket, there's a small little tiny mini pocket that you could put, like, almost probably fit just your thumb in. Like 2008 is that in that jeans of 2020 and 2021, 2022 of this situation that we're in. So if you're able to decipher and put all this that I'm saying and soak it all in, you know exactly what my sentiment is and what I'm trying to get to all of you guys. And it's very important for me to do it like this, or say this, because I already know the next wave that is coming. It's going to be similar to bashing the stock. There's going to be nothing new, obviously, but it's going to be a little more aggressive and personal. Like this one was personal, and this is just the first like brick that they threw at us, like a real brick, with this whole nscc and sft stuff. And you already have some cracks showing within the movement. Now, I'm not saying this is something that should concern you. At the end of the day, anything that's financially tied to your life should concern you, but it shouldn't dictate how you think. You see what I'm saying? You already know what you're after. You've witnessed a lot of craziness. The only thing different here is that this is going to be a little more rampant and different. It's going to echo the signs that you see on the market. Like, for example, you saw a 10% drop today. The PR, when you go and read it or listen to it, the press is going to be putting all sorts of crazy stuff that matches that sentiment of the minus 10%. And then there will have more coming in like this, similar to the, I'm assuming here is GME didn't really probably do good on their earnings. But again, it's not something that matters that much. And I'll tell you guys why. Like, you hear stuff like this. Okay, listen to this. AMC shares fall 10% as Top Gun effect doesn't help theater chain. So apparently it's not helping AMC, but it's helping Cinemark, Paramount, other BS companies I've never heard about, even. And here's the crazier part. We are the biggest movie chain on the entire planet with the lowest stock price amongst all its competitors, or not even, nobody's even competing with us, not even Cinemark. They put that stupid article about them securing a 1 million subscribers through something, whatnot. Like, who the heck? Like, I'll speak it like this. I have not been to a Cinemark like in over at least about probably like 3 years. Yeah, since before the COVID. And after COVID, by nature, I obviously couldn't go there anymore because I got into this beautiful thing. So I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Obviously, at the end of the day, if you're searching for the other side to do you justice, you're looking in the wrong place, right or wrong. If you're looking for the other side to play judge and play fair and expect them to honor, play by the rules, well, you should already know for the past 2 years what we've been going through, and I'm pretty sure they made their intentions very clear. That's the last people you want to trust with that sentiment. Again, like I said, they don't give two shits what ends up happening to you or to your family too. Better yet, to make it more exotic, they don't even care if you have kids, and they suffer from this in any imaginable horrible way. That's just, again, that's just who these people are. These individuals are. So yes, I'm not going to trust a thief with the keys to my safe. In other words. See, look at this. GameStop sales climb as loss widens. Okay, this, you see what I'm saying? Go look at other companies. Look at other earnings. If you are truly a person who view earnings and you're in this business, like you do this, I'll put it like this. I'm not a guru, but I will say this. I have so many times played, like, I literally wait for earnings season because that's a way, like, you guys remember 2 months ago, right? Or actually, sorry, not 2 months ago, a month ago, in towards the end of Ramadan. You guys remember I told you a week before the time started, and I told you that, hey, we're going to have a lot of volatility in this near term. Embrace it. If you don't know, learn it, but embrace it. And it's so crazy because, like, you know, I could look at things like I could come out here and say, hey, guys, look, I'm looking at the chart here and I could see, oh, Netflix, let's look at it. It closed at 192.91 on the end of the day, down 2%. And what I can see here on the 5-day chart, okay, guys, I'm mimicking here. Okay. So don't think this is, I see accumulating buying power here. And it started back at the 176 mark, and it went all the way up to the 203. It peaked above it, and it leveled back down at 192. I anticipate with the market analysis that next week we're going to have another move up to maybe 205, 207, and at that point I will close my positions. Like, I'm not going to come out here and do this with you guys. No one is a financial advisor, because at the end of the day, when they come out and they say all this and they follow it up, this is not financial advice. Now, what the hell are you supposed to do? You just made a case for me that's very bullish, according to your sentiment of my own, and I'm acting like I'm you. But yet you're telling me at the end, don't trust me, bro, or trust me, bro. It doesn't work that way, right? But what the way that I can tell you this is, guys, let's look at Netflix. Simply, if somebody had a question about Netflix, and that's why I'm using it as an example, does it make sense if I look at the past 3 months at least? Forget the whole year. But in the last 3 months, it's clearly been on a new all-time low. And every time that it goes up, it's not nothing like, it's not even going back to the like to the comfort zones. I mean, there's a major drop for Netflix from the 300 zone, which was even, it was like way higher than that before. I mean, it was in the 700s, right? I mean, the drop is mighty with Netflix. But at least I need to see it back to 350 and above in order for me to believe that this company is back on the run, right? Because it's not about just catching something at the bottom. What if you catch something that's at the bottom and it's going to stay at the bottom, right? That's the point. The productive way, or without the financial advice way, is to confirm first that there is movement. Like, confirm it. There's no fake outs, none of this stuff. I don't speak about fake outs because fake outs don't happen if you read the charts correctly, and the levels more conservatively. You have to be conservative. You can't not be emotional or hopeful when you trade in analysis. You definitely have to just have a narrow direction, a narrow lane, and just go down that area. So since it's a long way away from 350, this thing has nothing but bottoms, and I think it's going to consolidate in these areas and possibly drop lower at some point when the market crashes. So for me, since it's now going on its way back down, I see Netflix dropping down to the 180s and perhaps to the 170s by the time of the end of this week, or sometime in the next week. It could be even making a new all-time low. I definitely anticipate that around the new Fed's meeting, when the Feds announce in the next, I think it's like 12 days, when they announce what they do. What do you think? Of course, everything's going to go down. So again, not financial advice, but that's just my take on it. I'm not going to come in here and tell you all this stuff about the stock. I'm just going to give you the overall sentiment on what you need to expect. So when you see stupid sale reports like that on GME and you still see it up 1% in the after hours, well, guess what? Because in this case, we don't follow all these stuff. If we know that there are millions of people that are holding the stock, the cost to borrow is through the roof. Maddox said it earlier. If it's a dead beat, why even spend money on advertising against it? If we know all that stuff, then why the hell do we even care about the earnings? We know they were never gonna let, like, did any of you guys ever think that the catalyst that we need for either of our stocks, whether it's GME or AMC or other meme stocks, do any of you really and this is not like a mocking statement or like, oh, you were way wrong. No. Like, do any of you think that the catalysts for our MOAS was going to be an earnings call? I'll tell you this. My conviction in the play back when I first started in this whole thing, like back like in the beginning of this step, when I first got into it in September of 2020, my idea was, this is why this is different than anything the market have ever seen. Okay, yeah, treacherous movements and activities were always part of the market, but like this, never. I used to think that at some point something will come out and earnings will come out, and it will factor in the fact that we're open now, because AMC was evaluated at $8 back when it first opened and nobody was going to the movies yet and all that stuff. But as things progressed and we started having blockbusters going back into the mix and all that stuff, still didn't factor into the stock. Like, what is happening? When it was losing and shut down, it was making, it's evaluated as the same when it's operating and making money. Makes no sense. So once I, at that point, saw that, I knew, I was like, okay, well, it doesn't look like the catalyst for our climb will be a earnings call. I took that out of the equation. Then we began to have many catalysts. We've had endless amount of catalysts. We had Elon Musk selling, and that wasn't the catalyst. We had Evergrande collapsing, and that wasn't the catalyst as of yet. We've had Russia war on Ukraine, and still no catalyst. And in fact, here's the craziest statement I personally have ever heard. All these things are factored into the market. The market already factored it in. It's like, wow. Good luck selling this stuff. Apparently, they're able to sell this stuff. But again, who's there to contest them? Who's there to say, I'm not buying this. I'm going against this. In fact, we do this. Millions of us do this every day. We do it on Twitter. We do it on YouTube. We do it on Gary's Twitter page. If you guys ever seen any of his tweets, no matter what the guy tweets, no matter what, even if he says, my wife, it's our anniversary and I love you. And like there will be a bunch of apes that will get on there and they'll say, oh yeah, make sure you celebrate with the money I invested, or make sure that she still sees you the same, or she's still with you after all this stuff comes to light. Like literally every single tweet he's getting brave. And I'm not saying don't guys go do this, or guys don't do this, or I feel for the guy or any of that. No, not by a long shot. I'm sorry. Once upon a time, somebody told me that, hey, and I even said this, that he's part of the scheme. Like, he has to do what he's told that he has to do because he plays within the system. He's not the system. He plays within the system. While I even have made that statement, I will still say that individual still cannot come out and say, well, or with themselves, they can't say, my hands were tied, I couldn't do it. Why? Because at the end of the day, you still have, no matter who you are, you still have a moral duty. No matter what the order is, you still have a moral duty to yourself at the end of the day, and you have to honor that. If you have values and principles, you will definitely do that. But if you're a sellout, then don't expect people to be very lenient or to be honorable towards you. Even if your hands are tied, if you feel like your hands are tied, your hands are never tied. The Lord gives you two ways. There's the fire way and there's the heaven way. Whichever one you want, you choose. Again, sorry, I don't want to jump my faith driplets on you guys. I understand everybody has different beliefs, and I 100% wholeheartedly respect it, and I love it actually. If you're a man of faith or a woman of faith, or a person who have a higher entity that you believe in, I am in love with it, because at least you know that we didn't just come here by coinkydink. You're a little more sophisticated than that. So that's the beauty about that. So again, we can do so deep. We could go so deep as much as you guys want to go. At the end of the day, does it put money on the table? Does it put food on the table? It really doesn't. It does give food to the soul, because feeding your soul is different than feeding your stomach. That's one thing we know. And feeding your brain as well. And all three needs to eat. And the beautiful part about all this movement is that as far as the soul part, like this definitely didn't help me with food on the table, because everything has been going down. Yeah, it definitely did feed my brain because I learned a lot. But more importantly, it fed my soul. Personally, my soul was fed so much every day. Every day. I kid you guys not. I swear to God, every day I wake up, and if I don't at least talk to at least one of you guys, or in some form of fashion, or in an interactive way, I don't think I'll be able to go to sleep that night. Like, honestly, like, it's just become embedded and big part of my life. And that's why I call it family. Again, everybody has different values in life. And for me, you guys always, you probably get tired of hearing me say family, 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 family. Yes, I do believe when I do get old, if I get to live to be older and see more years on this planet, and I do become a parent or anything, I will be that kind of parent that always says to siblings, like to my kids, like, hey, your sister, your brother, whatever, like, I can already see it, because I'm always going to say, no matter what they do to each other, it's like, hey, you only got this. You can't people you can't change in life, or you cannot trade, or you cannot have again in life. You can't have another brother or a sister unless you obviously you know, adopt one into your life. But a biological brother or sister, if they go, they're gone. They're never coming back. And a mother and a father, your mom and dad, once they go, and obviously it doesn't need a guru to tell you guys this, but this just is a statement to sink in. Once your mom goes, you can't replace it. Once your dad goes, he's gone. Yeah, we can have all stepfathers and mothers, of course, but when that one goes, or the other obviously one goes, they're gone. And my moral of that statement is to tell you to cherish those while you have them, because no matter how much of them you get, there will come a time where you miss them and you would wish just for 1 second for them to be in your life, or even remember them like making you a cup of juice or coffee. Like my mom, sometimes when she comes in and she makes me like a cocktail, and she brings in like you know, a cup of out of nowhere, just out of her own convenience. You know, oh my God, this gives me like goosebumps, because you know I'm really feeling what I'm saying to you guys. Yeah, you don't ever want any of these people to go away, but at the end of the day, this is life, guys. So how does all that fare with AMC and GME? They're just plays at the end of the day. So I'm very fortunate to have formed another family like you guys with me, you know? Okay. Sorry to ramble for a while. Let's see what kind of magic has been in here, guys. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I definitely got coiled. I was way behind. Let's see. Peter Jefferson. GameStop earnings was a trash presentation as usual. And Pablokas GME had a disappointing earnings call. Don't worry, guys. I just covered it. As I said, again, this is just my 2 cents on it. Don't worry, guys, about that. You're not going to expect, like, don't expect to have that earnings that's going to be like, oh my God, they not only are they not no longer, and this is a reference to AMC, not only they're no longer in debt, but they're making historic profits. Like, and because of that, the stock is going to go to 5,000 or 10,000. Like, I'm not worried about the earnings being our catalyst. In fact, Tiny asked me a question yesterday, and she remembers last earnings I've played an earlier time. I played some straddles on GME, and you guys remember that was at that around that time. That was the beginning of the channel, so it was still like the rookie days. And yesterday we were talking about it, and she was like, "What do you think? Like, as far as your take on this, like, you know, would you think you're going to do something like that again or not?" It's like times are different now with this. Back then, it was hard to tell what the outcome was going to be, but for present, like for earnings season, that's how it comes out. Like every stock, if you can hyper or if you can develop some sort of idea on what the price of the stock sentiment is going to be, whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go down, you can act accordingly to that. You don't even have to just stick to buying the stock. And I've made my like sentiment clear. There's many ways to obviously skin a cat when it comes to that matter in that situation, and you can definitely make your money. In these times now, it's more of a stretch for my personal position, being in this for almost 2 years in both GME and AMC, and already, you know, expanded my positions and my portfolio in it using that strategy all along. I'm at a point now where what do I even have to, like, I have nothing but everything to, I have everything to lose but nothing to get, some to gain. So I don't even need to go and make these plays anymore, any of that. Right now is just about prime time. If this thing happens soon, so be it. That's all along what I planned for and hoped for, and now it's done. It all came to fruition. If it doesn't, then I'll act accordingly and adjust along. And by adjust, I don't mean change anything, because obviously I made it clear that I'm going to make my position longer, bigger and bigger and bigger as the time progresses. This is their loss. So you want to make this go longer? No problem. That's going to factor in with me as well, because I'm going to have more shares by then, and then by then you would have to deal and even more options as well. So you would have to deal with me on a bigger scale, even by every month that passes. And that's just the way I look at it now. You know, first I was looking at it from a daily perspective, then it became a weekly. Then at a point, it became more of a monthly perspective for me, just even for just those two positions for AMC and GME. I look at them just on a monthly basis and see if I want for next month, if I have a new goal. Again, it starts with baby steps, and that's where it started for me, and that's how it's been. I've shared with some of you guys, and some of you know who you are, like pictures on the Discord, because you know some asked on as far as what it looked like on the June run up, and you guys were seeing things, and you're like, oh wow, okay, a $3,000 or $2,000 investment could make hundreds of thousands. Yes, that's very accurate. Uh, you know, at that time there was time, and I'm not saying this so I can encourage people to do this, but I'm saying this so that you can know that it is possible. At least what you do with that info is your personal business, but I will give you the info, and I'll tell you, yeah, like I purchased freaking calls at that time that were worth $45, 75, $77. Some were over 100, but majority were like about $70. But imagine buying something for $70, paying $70 for something that you were selling at another point for $5,000 or $7,000. So I paid 70, and in return that 70 became 7,000 when I sold it on the run up. Obviously that happened with the prices, and that was just the price running to certain ranges. Imagine if it's, you know, unbelievable. Point is, it didn't start right there for me. You know, I got to that point and got to that point, and eventually when I got to that point, that's when that happened. Now, is that very risky? Well, yeah. if it wasn't risky, and if it wasn't very rare, every day you will hear about a new millionaire or even billionaire at that point. It for the ones that seen, you know what I'm talking about. Peter Jefferson is not liking the GME earnings. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. I'm trying to share the sentiment that Stacia is sharing on the chat, even though I'm way behind on it. Yeah, look at Gloria saying, listen, guys, Jason, same. We just want our money bags now. All right. And I know I'm not saying it exactly the way that Gloria is saying it possibly right now, but I'm trying to do it as close as possible. So, okay, Kim A has a very good question. Did you see glitches on Fidelity that says AMC 1400? And that was something that obviously also Lou was, you know, pushing out as well. He's seen it. He took a screenshot of it, and you know, he shared it. And it is true. And it's not the only thing is Fidelity. Even Weeble, for that matter, is having it. And Brenda, Queen of Swords, knows all this. She's got me on this assignment. Of reading into it, and it's valid. Like, it's not like you know, she has a concern that almost on a daily basis she's getting these glitches in the price, and it constantly changes. So unless she's on top of it and taking a screenshot, it just happens and it goes back and changes on a daily basis. She contacted the broker, and their answer was the glitch, and they kind of like just gave her the runaround. So I'm at a point now where I'm trying to see if there's any other creators or any other YouTubers that are doing something about this or thinking about this. Personally, I'll say the truth. In this point, the way I got it understood is that unless you have a smoking gun, you can't come out and, for example, and go and sue somebody over glitches. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to have the smoking gun, or either them, the other side, confessing, yeah, we got, you know, a wrong price advertised, but we hiding the real price in the background. Unless you can catch that or get them to say that, or you catch the real price by discovering it somehow, somewhere, and you got the proofs to it. And that way you could definitely go and sue with cause. But as far as going in and saying, hey, I want to sue somebody over glitches, okay, the other side are going to come. They're not going to evaporate themselves. They're going to, I mean, even if it goes that far, uh, they're going to say, okay, well, what is your proof? Yeah, glitches, software. If you don't like it, if you don't like our software, it happens with us, you can feel free to go to other brokers. We're not forcing anyone to be with us, but we'd hate to see our customers go. Like, again, this is business and what capitalism is talking about. And this is exactly why I hate capitalism. Sorry, guys. I'm not a capitalist, because capitalism, while it's, yes, it paves way for people to have better lives and everything, but it also gives birth to dog eat dog mindset. So where the powerful wants to eat the weak, and in order for them to get stronger and stronger, they have to consume more of the people that are beneath them or weaker than them, just simply because of the standings that they have and how like the powerful grip they have on the economic system. So that's why I hate that. Yeah, you can look at AB in many different ways. AB is a humanist. He's a socialist. He's a whatever. But I don't like control. So whatever goes with control, dictatorship, monarchy, whatever, I'm not for that. I'm also not for capitalism, because at the end of the day, it forces the system to find corners and special alleys and cut ways, and find shortcuts to do things that don't require shortcuts. It's kind of like a surgeon who has to do somebody's appendix and goes in and just literally like, okay, let's get this done. Okay, like, do you think that we need to have, like, normally we stitch people up with 20 stitches after, but on this one, let's go ahead. It looks like if inflation is going up high, so let's do 10 stitches on this one. We'll just make it more wide on this case. Like, you're not going to hear something like this. Like, they're going to take their measure. If it takes 20 stitches, they're going to give them 20 freaking stitches. If the cut was for 30 stitches, you're going to get that 30 stitches. You're not going to get 15 and say he'll live or she'll live. Like, as long as that's just the way it is. And capitalist system, there's always going to be some sort of effery where people are going to be stepped on or consumed by bigger entities and larger and more evil people with evil agendas, of course. And that's the world that we're precisely living in right now, at least in this part of the world, in this country, because that's what it is. How many times do you hear this statement? Money talks and bullshit walks. Everybody in here knows this. Everybody has heard that statement. You know why? Because this is part of our lifestyle. As much as we hate to admit it, this is the world we live around. You might be one of the good people or the people that are not affected by that socially, or that's not how you go about things. But that's what makes this country a very beautiful country, because it's a melting pot. First of all, there's not one dominant culture that's a culture, because there's no culture. We're freaking American. That's just the way it is. That's just how we see it. Whether South, North, East, whether Indian, Arabic, Italian, Irish, American, whatever you are, African, Hispanic, if you're here and you're born here, or for the better part, even to say, or even to make it even crazier or even bigger, even if you consider yourself, you lived your life here, you consider yourself an American, all your allegiances to the U.S., who's to anybody to come out and say you're not, So that's what makes this country so great. But unfortunately, you're always going to have these situations or these entities that are trying to prey on the good people. And the reason why that does not match with our country and the way that we're living it, what I call it the dream, is this country. Land of opportunity for sure, because here people do not just go with it. This ties back to the idea when I was telling everyone before, if they choose to give the middle finger up to retail, and I've said this many times before, you guys can fact check me on that part. You think the people that they're giving the middle finger to are going to take it like that. And I'm not saying that we're going to go and people are going to riot and break and burn things and whatnot. To each their own. Obviously, I don't condone any violence. But you think we'll just take it and be quiet? I know AB is not going to shut up. I know none of you in here are going to shut up. And it's not just because we, hypothetically speaking, at that point, if they gave the middle finger, that means we, obviously at that point, we lost all our finances. But again, I'm talking hypothetical situation here. But you think we're just, it's mainly not even about the finances at that point. For us, at that point, it's kind of like you got nothing else to lose. You lost everything. But it's the principle of how. Because when you're right and you did your part, if you went to a store and you paid, because what's happening to us is simply in day-to-day operations format, I can describe it like this. Imagine you go into the grocery store and you bought like 10 watermelons, okay? Because you were gonna go and pass 9 of them for donation or something, right? You bought 10. So you got the 10 in the cart. You go there and boom, like to you it says you have 10, right? But you pay for it. So you paid for 10. Then you look and you see all the watermelons are rotten, right? Bear with me. Now you're telling the register person and you're telling them like, hey, all these are rotten. I didn't check that. Like, I'm just now seeing it. Like, you know, that they all got holes in them or they're rotten. Something is wrong with these. I want to just replace them with different ones. Register person, and this is what's happened with us. You didn't buy 10. Did you buy 10? Show me that you bought 10. You show, oh, here, I have 10. Okay, well, if you already bought it, it's done. Like show me. I still don't believe you bought 10. I don't think all these are from here. And now it's kind of, the situation is more, it's no more logical. It's not logically defined anymore. We're no longer talking logic because to you, you've already said enough. You feel like you showed enough. Hey, you said, I literally just bought this in front of you. Like I got 10, you know, you're not lying, but yet the other side is making you wrong no matter what. You're going to come out wrong no matter what. If somebody's agenda is to make you wrong no matter what, you're going to come out wrong no matter what. Does it make it correct? Of course not. Does it make it right? Of course not. When we see other chains, movie chains, because again, the problem was that movie industry is dying. And you see other stocks like Cinemark or Paramount and other stupid chains. I'm sorry, they might not be stupid, but this is AB's emotions speaking now. So please don't sue me, Cinemark, because I'm not trying to go shit on you guys or Paramount. But to see those valuated per stock higher than AMC, knowing that none of their sales are close because they're in the same industry to even AMC, they don't have the loyal following, not even 10% of the loyal following that AMC has. In fact, none of them has following. It's just convenience. It's a business. The people who go to Cinemark, they go there because they're just going to watch the movie. They're not going to Cinemark because, oh, no, it just must be Cinemark. No, maybe because they offer IMAX or Dolby or it's the only one around in their area. Some of those reasons. But AMC investors make it their diligence, like it's must happen. I can't go anywhere but to an AMC theater. And at least I'll speak on a broad level, like on because they feel like, again, if you put your money in here, why are you even going to put your money, like you invested your money in this stock? Why are you going to another company and you invest in and you're buying or you doing business with them? Help your own company, right? I mean, so people think on that common sense level, almost everybody is the same on that note. So try to make logic out of something that is not logical. Or in other words, try to make something that's logical, make it unlogical. And that's what they've been doing. For us, we've been trying to make something that's not logical. For them, it's the opposite. How to make something logical, not logical. Who's winning? It's always going to be the right side. It's always. That's just how every movie, every story, how everything ends in life. even in life itself, in reality, that's just how it ends. You can't keep a good dog down forever. That's just hands down. I mean, all the fundamentals are great. If they keep this for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, this thing is still going to pop. So there's no way that they on their end they can win. So as far as I see now, thinking of all that, it's all about a process of perseverance, like preserving yourself. Who's going to be well preserved? Who's going to outlast? It's clearly in this movement we're going to have a lot of casualties, but we're going to have a lot of happy people and very well off and financially stable people. So which one is it going to be? Which one are you going to be? Are you going to be the casualty or are you going to be the survivor? Only you can answer that and dictate that based on your actions and what you decide to do. And personally, for me, I'll start with myself and I'll say, hey, I will not be a casualty in this. And from the beginning, I came in with a very, very strong and sound motivation and goal. And I'm not going to come short to any of it. And I will not allow anything or any entity to let me come short. So if they keep opening up back doorways and alleys and keep kicking this can down the road or whatnot, that's not kicking me. That's just giving me more time. It's like they're helping me. See, here's the difference. Some people look at it as, they keep doing this. I can't. I understand it's mentally draining. But for me, I don't look at it from the same perspective, or I don't look at it from the same energy that you do if you are one of those people. I look at it as these people are constantly giving me a chance to make more money. Like they're literally saying, the way I see it is like, hey, we really like you so much. So therefore, we're willing to give you another 3-4 months. Okay. That's literally how I see it. We want to give you every time they kick the shit can down the road. I'm like, the way I view it is this way. They're telling me you're a nice guy. We like you. So therefore, we want to kick this down 3-4 months, giving you more time to go ahead and accumulate more so that you can make more money out of this. I know that's not what they want, or that's not what they're saying, but that's the way I'd like to believe the version of the story or what is being said. This is the way I would like it to be. And therefore, that's how it's going to be. For me, that's all that matters. To you, all that matters is what you think and what you want out of something. And you just set your sights on it and you go. Just aim like a freaking eagle. You're not going to stop or come any short to anything. You're going to if you look at the similarity of what I just said, you can compare it to, you remember the AB story back a few months ago when I shared the AB story in one of the lives, right? You guys would remember there was a member, there was one entity or one person or character in my life who was my first boss. If you guys remember in that story, some of you here might have listened to it. I remember some of you guys were in there that day. And that boss that I had, that was my first partner eventually. But you guys, if you remember the story, how it went, he thought that he was playing me because he would go overseas for like 6 months, 8 months at a time, sometimes away from his business. And he would leave his entire business all at my mercy, in my hands. And he's dependent on me. And I've given him every reason to trust. I come from a house. My dad was a judge. He just brought us up on the morals and levels that, hey, like obviously stealing is wrong, even if it's right there and no one can be there to catch you or whatnot. It's just, that's not it. You can't live with yourself. So like, to me, they just raised this with crazy, like my dad and my mom raised this with different, like with not different, but I would say crazy, strict values. And we reap the fruits of those now as adults, personally. So I love it. So kudos to them for that, right? But the way he was looking at it is he was paying me, that punk $7, $8, $9 an hour for doing everything, going out of my way to get inventory, paying for my own gas, opening the store, open the clothes on my own, not even hiring help. And it was all to activate and sell and operate a phone store, a cellular provider. It was an authorized dealer with Cricket and with Cincinnati Bell at the time. So At that time, he was viewing it as he was taking advantage of me, and anybody else would look at it probably the same. But I was looking at it differently, and it's similar to what I was just explaining now about the AMC, my approach on AMC and GME. The difference is I was looking at him as I was taking advantage of him, and he was looking at it as he was taking advantage of me. And only time was going to tell. And honestly, yes, I was the one taking advantage of him. Here's why. Because if I complained and said, I want more per hour, do you know, like, okay, he would have probably paid me more, but he would have made it harder on me from so many angles, because that means I would be forcing him to be there. So I would be taking less hours because he can't afford more hours, or he doesn't want to pay more hours, which means he won't be reliant on me 100,000% the way that he was, which is what I needed. Why? Because for my dream, I knew that I had to go through the trenches and through all the sacrifices and the hard routes in life in order to get to my first dream and to my goals, to reach my goals, which was be my own entrepreneur, have my own business. At the age, obviously, at that time was at 21. And, coming from nothing and having, like, of course, everything overseas as a kid, my parents had all that. Mom's a nurse, dad was a judge, Supreme Court judge. So obviously they had that. But when we came to the US as a kid, we didn't have anything. All that got resetted. My dad couldn't work here as a judge. My mom couldn't work here as a nurse. It's not as easy as watching a show where they can just plug a nurse no matter where they go. You got to reevaluate everything, and they got to go to school again to reevaluate it, to go back and become that person in a different region, or at least in the US. So for me, I was able to look past that. I wanted him to depend on me so I can do everything for the store like it was my own business. So the way I was looking at it as, hey, I'm literally practicing being my own boss, but at somebody else's expense, which is at my first partner's expense. The reason why I said my first partner is because he became my partner in my next business. And some of you guys know all the story, so I'm not going to dive into it. If you want to know more details about that, or how it happened, or it could mean anything to you, go back into the videos and look at the AB's live video. That was a very, very, very strong and emotional video. So yes, so the way I look at it, the way they look at it are completely different. And that's why when I look at something, I try to reap benefits out of it, no matter how terrible it might sound, or no matter how bad it is. Compare it to the antiques, or when you throw an oven outside or a fridge, you know how many services will flock quick to try to scoop that off the sidewalk, because they know they can go ahead and sell that, whether for weight for metal, whether weight for whatever, and they can get that, things like that. And for me, that's the take or the approach I have on life. No matter what it is that is in front of you, it has some value to it. Your job, or if you're smart, the way I see it, is you will figure out what is it good for and reap the benefits or squeeze the benefits out of that, no matter how much it is. Another simple example, Terra Luna literally bottomed out and tanked out. Many of you in here know that I came out and said, hey, I put $300 on there, and where it's going to go. And I explained what I was expecting out of it. Many of you came here, not that obviously nobody bashes nobody here. You guys are all amazing. That's why I call you family. But many of you obviously voiced your opinion, which is respected and wanted. And you said, man, that's a dead cat, or that dead stock, she's done. Well, guess what? My point was not to argue if it's done or it's not done. My thing was to try to squeeze some good out of that. Tell Dog, you know this. You know this, especially on Luna. Well, guess what? I've already made my money back on that investment, pulled that money out, and now I'm working risk-free. Literally, I'm working risk-free on Luna. Even if it goes to zero, I'm losing nothing. I already got my money back out of it. If it does go to any heights, then I'm there for the ride. And that's my point, ultimately, to wrap all that back in before I read more comments and just have some fun with the rest of you guys, just to finish that message and wrap it all up. When it comes to thinking about AMC and GameStop, the way that you're all viewing it is as the mother of all short squeezes, right? Which is my view on it as well. But something of that magnitude can't just come to you, unfortunately, as bad as that sounds, it's not going to come to you that easy. You have to do a lot of sacrifices. You'll have to, and you have. I document all of it. I know you have, all of you. I know you weren't able to have normal holidays this past holidays season, like you normally used to. You probably were met with an uncomfortable choice by somehow try to convince your kids or your loved ones, like why you couldn't get them the best gift or something, or why they couldn't even get a gift in some cases, because you had to explain to them that they're going to get many more and better ones in the near future or in the long term down the line. So they even had to make sacrifices. And I know that because you're to each family, their parent guardians are like the gods of that house or that household, and it's natural, and that's correct. That's the way it should be. The parents are the gods of that environment, of that ecosystem, and for you to relay stuff like this or to have to sacrifice takes a lot. I don't know. I have a feeling, because I'm not a parent. I was like a parent to my other younger siblings, but I wasn't personally a parent. So I can only feel what you have to sacrifice and go through. Shit, even your own time, a year and a half, depending on when you got in this, 2 years, a year, that's sacrifice. And you still are in it. And that's ultimately what's going to come down to. So like when you, like I said, wrap it all up in, you can't tie all this up. You didn't go through all this so you can come either one, empty-handed, or quit. You're going to see, I personally will see this till the end. I will see to it. And I'm ready to, obviously, I've always made it clear. I'm going to live or die by it. And I got the Lord on my side, so therefore there is nothing else I would need. It's just like I said, it's simple. I've tested this over and over in my life, and it always works as far as a way of life, of how to view life. For me, it's been working. It's amazing. Always look at anything, no matter how terrible it is it still good for something? If you look at anything or anyone in that perspective, you're always going to have opportunities in front of you, because you make opportunities out of anything for F's sake. All right. I gotta get to the beach before my wife kills me. Yep. Yes. Like a visa formations. You drink the coffee you brew. And by the way, it is dark. It is black. No sugar, no cream. Yeah, I know, Stacia. I know, Gloria. I know. All you milk and cream lovers. You guys liked that in Discord, didn't you? And the last one is for all you milk lovers. Who was it that? Oh, yeah, I think it was Mikey J and Adrian that liked the poem that I posted. It was like a beginning. It was not a finished poem, too, but it was 2 parts that I posted in the Discord, and it was just crazy. By the way, if you haven't been in our Discord, guys, please join it. We'll post the link. It's free. Again, it's just there for the family. In case they need to catch up and post things together in case there's no live, because obviously we're not live 24 hours or even making videos 24 hours. So therefore, in the Discord, people can catch up, ask a question, things can get answered, people could talk back and forth about it. You could even we have a speech lounge too now. It's called the Hot Box. So we're calling it Hot Boxing. So if you ever need to go into a hot box, you would know where to go. Let me see. Maybe I could share the link. Let me do the honors, guys. I know you're eager to do it, but let me do the honors. Boom. And there you have it, people. Yeah. If you want to join the Discord, please go for it. It's right there in the link. Like I said, again, it's free. None of that stuff, crazy stuff of paying or whatever. And if you ever need to talk and be around with the family, I mean, again, you never know what kind of information you can get. So keep yourself exposed at all times. Exposed to DD. Going to dinner, but I put a video of Ken Griffin talking about how they split the orders up and sprinkle. What you are talking about, how they keep on aisle 87. Yep, I got you, future whale. Aisle 87. I am insane. My average share price reflected. Folks, it's okay for your age. It's definitely not reflective. So that's that. If you get what I'm saying, right? Hopefully you get what I'm saying. Gloria, at least been there before. When I was raising my kids, I worked 3 jobs. Hopefully soon you won't have to. Does get old and no fun. Yes, Leah and Gloria. Gloria, you were absolutely correct. And Leah, soon all that is going to end. I pray. Amen. That's what Moas is for, to never have to do work you don't want to do no more. Diaz still here almost 2 damn years. Diaz, how long you've been in this? Again, not a. I know this might be a little personal question, so it's up to you, brother, to say it or not. But not to put you on the spot. But is it same as well for you? Three jobs are rough, and for someone to do it while also being a mother, yeah, I can. That's something I can never do. I've done 3 and 4 jobs. Obviously, I was not a mother. You guys, again, like if you watched the video of AB's life, you would know what it was like doing, uh, averaging 80 something hours to 90 something hours a week of work. That was insane. Like you start at some point, you get to a point where if you get uh, some things like that you can't go about forgetting on your daily life, like it's just it will get rough. And again, that's still miles away behind the things that Gloria is going through. So much respect, Gloria. Much respect. Tyler B, how is it? Thank you, Diaz. So Mikey J saying, without thinking about the squeeze, I know AMC is undervalued. There is some argument that GME share price is in a reasonable zone, uh, plus or minus 10. But AMC is definitely not the price it should be at. And I definitely agree with that, Mikey. Thanks for that sentiment. See, that adds more to the conviction. It's not just like, it's amazing that it's, a part of yours, but it adds more to others. And even me, like, so when you hear something like this, it's like, yeah, well, yeah, that definitely makes sense. I dig that. Yeah, that makes sense. And now I'm more even convinced that, hey, you know what? I just need to value this more. Where this hurts the most, I know, is for people who YOLO and over leverage themselves, whether it's on options that they don't know how, they over leverage themselves on and they didn't know how to play. So therefore they're going to stand to take that loss and they just don't want to swallow that pill. I understand. Nobody wants to swallow that pill, right? But at the end of the day, so you have to take it. You prepared it. You got to drink it. So with that obviously being said, in some other cases also with stocks, some people will go ahead and sell their houses and cars and whatnot and go in and put all that in, saying that, oh, it's okay, I'll stand this for, I can survive this for, what's the worst case scenario? See, this is the formula for disaster, because right there, it starts right there. What's the longest this could take out for? Worst case scenario, I don't see this lasting more than 8 months. This was probably the ape back in January of 2021. They're like, yeah, by the end of this year, by 2022, January 2022, at worst case scenario, you'll be done, right? Because nobody knows the future. But at that time, going back in time to January of 2021, it was so hard for people to see it going past even April. But again, let's just say that you're thinking worst case scenario, 2022, beginning of 2022. So you went ahead, sold your house, sold your cars and everything, and you know that you can sacrifice and squeeze yourself all the way until the beginning of 2022. And you've calculated it, and you know that you can pay your rent on time, pay your food bill, everything, buy your food, and you know that can sustain you until the beginning of 2022. The disaster comes here now is even your greatest imagination of the furthest out, like you thought that the worst case scenario will be the beginning of 2022. Well, we've surpassed that. We're in the middle of 2022 now. And if you went about it in that mindset, now it's doomsday, because you, at that point, you have sold everything. Your position is in the red. And at the same time, you can't go longer. You need, because that's it. Your plan was, and your liquidity was only going to take you until this time, hypothetically speaking, right? And I know many people did that, but with much less time than this. I'm even giving you guys a big leeway here. So for the ones that did that, it ultimately ended up in a very bad way for them, because they would eventually have to sell some shares, whatever, get life to move. Because again, life doesn't stop for MOAS, or like Adrian says, NOAS. So unless you over leverage yourself, that's the key word here. Your second best friend is your conviction, and if you have a strong that's it. Attention, all non-mods must hit the like per coil. You'll be coiled if you don't. I'm just the messenger. I love Tell Dog. Or get coiled, Mikey. Palestinian, how's it going, my friend? Nice to see you in here. Ahla sahla. Adrian Fernandez, these tacos from Jack in the Box hit a different type of way. Just don't say that around my Mexican friends. Oh my God. My Mexican friends? I have these. Okay, so I have this. Well, I have many Mexican friends, but there's this particular crew that actually they do a lot of remodeling and homes and all that kind of stuff. So obviously most of their food, since they're always busy, they're always doing stuff. Good for them. Hardworking men. Literally all their life, as far as I see, is hard work, party after. This is their life. As far anytime I speak to them, if they're not knocking a nail into a door or something, like you don't hear that sound in the background, like tock 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 tock. All you hear in the background is like and like some, whether it's some salsa or some Hispanic music. Most of the times it's what do you call that? It's not bachata, no. It's like merengue, no. It's like the hip hop version of Hispanic music. and like the Daddy Yankees and stuff like that. I think it is bachata. Anyways, but yeah, this is the only time. If they're not doing that, they're doing that, and they're on it, like on it. Um, but them, even them, since they eat outside all day, they go to these particular food trucks. There's like some taco food trucks, obviously unknown, small business, just a food truck parked in some gas station or something. And they will say, no, this is, and they've taken me to some before, and man, they were right. They were right. In fact, it's a running joke for them. They're always joking, like people in Mexico are joking about people here thinking that they're eating tacos when they go to Taco Bell. So they're always like, saying something Taco Bell, something you Taco Bell eaters, you whatever, whatever. Ah, thanks, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is reggaeton. Thank you, Adrian. Let's see. Look at all these dimes that are being dropped in here. Look at Jeffrey saying low expectations and high morale. If you can't take a joke, you better return the badge to the door you to the door on your way out. Oh no, Peter. No, he didn't. Peter said that's what they do at Amazon warehouses. If you don't like this $18, thank you, come again. Oops, I just did that. That's what one of my bosses did back in the days. Oh my god. That Arab cheap bastard, he was paying people way under table. You know what he was convincing them too? He was very brilliant, but very cheap and obviously very crooked. He was telling us, like, he literally made a case to why it's okay to get paid $7 an hour. Like, make that make sense. It's already below, way below the paying minimum, right? But the way he made sense out of it, and again, this is why I say he's so crooked and insidious. The freaking guy was paying us 7, and he was like, this is equivalent to 950. I was like, how? Why don't you just give me the 950 then? He was like, well, because you're not paying tax out of it. And I was like, what do you mean? So I'm not gonna get a W-2 at the end? Unfortunately, people who come in and they don't know much about the system, even if they're documented and like they're legal and all that stuff, they just want to get a job, right? So at that point, most of these other viewers are like, oh yeah, so if I don't have to pay tax out of it, that's more money in my pocket. Like, no, you idiot. This is worse for you than him. It's better for him because he don't have to pay, like the taxes that he pay on you are more than what you pay out of your paycheck, because they got to match. Your boss has to match your payroll tax that you pay that comes out of your check comes out of them as well when they pay payroll tax at the end of the month. So it's a very boring world and not as fun. So yeah, trust me, I know all about that crap. Um, so he would convince us to do this, but in the same time, it's terrible for you and for them if there was a catastrophe that happened. So let's say somebody came in, and let's say you fell in the job, and you broke your leg, hypothetically speaking. And that's all you. There's unless you have your own insurance to take care of it or whatnot. He'll tell you there's no 401k. Obviously, there's no taking care of you because you was on the job. None of that stuff. And more worse than that is when it happens, he will also say, you're going to tell the authorities that you were voluntarily doing this, working here. You're not working here. You're just a volunteer. So you're doing all this. You're doing a crime. That's why I never agreed to it. Others did. I've seen it, unfortunately. Uh, and you're help making a crime because obviously you're evading taxes at that point, helping his narrative or their narrative more, that boss that's asking you to do this, because obviously they're gonna pay less tax, and at any given time you're always a dropped asset. There's millions of people that could cover your job, so therefore all the advantages on their side. on your boss's side. And this is how they take advantage. That's on a smaller level. Imagine in a corporate America. You know, some of you in here, if not all of you in here, listen to Pantheon as well. And I'm so fortunate to have a friend like Pantheon, honestly. And I look forward to water those that friendship more and more as time progresses to make it something, or to make it blossom to become a tree down the line in the future, and to be a long life friendship. But he even documents on a corporate level what he, in his channel, he mentioned this. I'm not like, putting words in his mouth or any of that, of what he was going through, or what he's currently still going through with his corporate past ex-boss. And again, that's his story to finish. So you got to go there, look through the archives of Pantheon, and then you'll see what he was talking about in that case. So that guy was so insidious, going back to the AB, one of the AB's bosses. He literally was convincing these people like, hey, it's like you getting $9.50 because you didn't got to pay taxes out of the 7. My response was just one to him. I was like, listen, you're not going to play me like them, because there's two things. I don't want to be at a place where I'm also wrong and I can go to prison. You're not holding anything on me, and I'm not holding anything on you. I don't want to evade taxes. I would rather you give me that $9.50 and let it come out of the taxes. So at the end of my pay, I could use fields, or like those W-2s, to go and lease a car, or finance a car, or lease an apartment, or get an apartment. Because, I was young at that point. Get an apartment, any of that. Now, the other guys, you know what they were forced to do? They were forced to all live, like, there was like 10 people. And obviously I have my family here. So most of these people were like migrants that just, or people that came and they're by themselves, and their families are overseas and they're sending money back. So like, this is the person that they were able to get across the border. This is the way they view it. And it's amazing, man. Guys, it's so crazy, man. This is so surreal. So like, all the family overseas hope now is tied to this individual. Look at all that pressure. So if that individual one day says, like, you know what, it's the weekend, let me go out and have some fun, and gets a DUI or something like Pelosi's husband just did, all that family, or those people that are tied, and it's not just your immediate family, it's your cousins, your aunt, everybody. Like, a lot of them have that. They're all tied up to you. It's not fair, but that's life. So they don't have that luxury. So what they were doing, most of these people, was like 10 of them or 12 of them sleeping in 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, all of them stuffed together. They look at the home or the apartment as a place to just to put their their head on a pillow. It doesn't matter whether like 10 people are like 4 people are sleeping in one room and all on the ground. They will put like what do you call mattresses on the floor, and they'll also like it's if you look at it from our day life, the way that we view life, you would think that you're in a third world country or somewhere that's not in the US. But this is happening in every state, in your backyard, anywhere you are, even if you're in Canada too. This is happening. And it's sad, because that's not a life condition to live, or that's not a way to live life. But again, these people make sacrifices and all that. So to them, they can't even go get an apartment under their name. They can't even go get a car. They can't go get a loan. They can't do nothing. All this money they're getting, and you know what they're doing? Most of it, they're paying, like, they put together all that money so that they can save on the rent, because it's like 12, 15 people sleeping in one apartment. And on top of that, the rest, they Western Union that stuff overseas for the people that need them. Yeah, it's like that, guys. I'm trying to remove the plastic off of this water jug so that you guys don't think that. I know that this show is provided to you by H2O. H2O is proud to keep you hydrated at all times. Stay thirsty, my friends. But I don't want this. Okay, it's not working. You guys can see it. I don't know anymore. Pam, welcome in here. I know you've probably been here for a minute. Sorry, I'm just now getting to it. Much love to you, Pam. You're a very special individual. And I'm pretty sure everybody in here knows it. And if you don't know, now you know. uh, KL, how are you, my friend? How many languages do I speak? Well, so far too, you can also add a bunch of other languages to it. But here's what I mean by that. So Arabic is has branches similar to kind of like English in a way. How in England, how it's different accent, different thing. But in the Arab world, all regions that speak Arabic, they have their own kind of like many regions have their own Arabic. So, for example, Morocco is a mixture of Arabic, Spanish, and French, literally all put together. So the Moroccans, when they go over, let's say hypothetically speaking, to Jordan, what they have to do is speak that like reverse and speak the universal Arabic language, the literature part of the Arabic language, so that we can conduct business and understand each other. If they speak the Moroccan version of Arabic, the Jordanian is not going to understand the Moroccan, and the Moroccan is not going to understand the Jordanian. Now, AB speaks Moroccan, not just the like the universal Arabic language or the literature Arabic language. I can speak Sudanese, I can speak Egyptian, I can speak Moroccan, and again, in their dialect, in their language, in their terms. I can speak Lebanese, which is very close to Jordan, and Syrian. Jordanian and Syrian are extremely close. They're closest to each other, all those three. Uh, Somewhat Iraqi dialect. I can speak Saudi with their dialect as close as possible. Uh, but I can more importantly understand them when they're talking with each other. So again, it's many languages that in their tongue, in their native tongue, I can speak it. I understand what they're saying. But if you dwindle it down, it comes down to two main languages: English and Arabic. And my biggest regret so far until now, and I keep telling this to myself because I'm a failure when it comes to this, is Spanish. I love, 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 love. I tried to learn French, and I was like, nope, nope. I'm not speaking this. I don't know if I get older, if my views change, but I can't. I can't just see like the way the tongue rolls and everything is just myself. I can't picture myself in the mirror or listening to myself speaking that way. Like, we, it's just I can't. But I can see myself speaking, Spanish like pero, like I can see myself. I can picture myself speaking Spanish. French, I refuse. And in the same time too, Mandarin, I refuse. Like I can't see myself. Like, oh my god, can you imagine if I sit here and it's like, oh my god, speaking Mandarin, like ni hao everybody, like, oh, I can't imagine it. Like even get down with the language too. I mean, it's cool, but I just can't picture myself. So Spanish is the language before I put my head on in that tombstone. I need to have speaking or learn Spanish fluently. I can speak obviously some ghetto and hood Spanish, like the Miami, Florida Spanish. The things that just gets you by here and there. But to have a full conversation and all that stuff, no. And that's my goal for sure. I'm getting goosebumps because I know I'm getting to get coiled. Oh my God. I was going to say that name looks really good in blue. What's up, Pantheon? See my name in blue? Remember the name. And perhaps you may not get coiled today. Wow. I'm ready to make a sea of blue, Tel Dog. Uh-oh. Battle of the Blue. And no, we call it Battle of the Wrenches. Hopefully you're having a great day, today, my friend Pantheon. Arthur, how are you, my friend? Arthur Martin's in the house, and Big B. I know who you are, Big B. I know. I remember you. In fact, obviously, I won't say your name because you told me that it's better off this way. But how are you, brother? Simple coiling today. uh, I don't know. I barely got enough sleep. I mean, like I said, when I got off, I had like that dentist appointment, like just 3.5 hours later. Um, and again, like it was good for me because I just went there, I closed my eyes, and I just had my mouth open, and uh, it was. I just hate it because of the sound, the fact that it was a deep cleaning session. It was good though; it was needed. I do it every 6 months. Um, well, sorry, I do the like regular cleaning every 6 months, but on the every year I do a deep clean. So it's necessary. That way, I never have to get to a position where I have to do a root canal or, God forbid, any of that stuff. Better to deal with it before it becomes an issue. Appreciate it, Pantheon. A random YouTuber disappeared. It worked. Keep threatening. Threatening is the word, is the way, Pantheon. Keep threatening people. You guys are so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you, Pam. Um, Mikey J, you're very beautiful as well, individual. Appreciate all the chats that we have, guys, by the way. Um, but also, I just want to say I appreciate all the support and love in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys have noticed, I know our community is much smaller than many other communities, but that doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't even phase me or any of that. At the end of the day, I never even imagined to have one besides my intermediate family to listen to me or to be able to speak to, because no one is obligated to listen to anyone. um, but what matters the most is that our community has a different approach, man. Like, I feel it, I know it, I see it. Many other opportunity, like in many other communities, and I'm not like shit talking any other community, any of that. Some are extremely big that some can't even be noticed or kind of go along with the masses. um, and in many cases there's not even that lack of respect in that community. I've seen some where there's like zero respect amongst the people themselves, like the way that they communicate with each other. I mean, it goes back down to the person that they're coming to see, that creator. You kind of dictate what kind of tone you're going to tolerate in this whole thing. If everybody is cussing each other out and everybody's saying GYFM and all that stuff to themselves and to each other, um, well, there's a crowd for that. But there's no crowd like this for me. For me personally, I would never, ever think, no matter how cool we get, me and you, it's never going to be cool enough for you to come and like address me as in like, hey, go F your M, and stuff like that. I hold, especially, okay, I come from a culture where mothers, sisters, wives, those three are red lines. That's just the culture, and I'm part of it. Whether you respect it or not, any of you guys or anyone else out there, that doesn't matter to me. That's the culture I come from. Those are three red lines. You can never, and I always tell this to all my new friends when I made new friends in the US, because that's the total opposite here than there. I told them, hey guys, just so that I know we just met. This might come off weird, but don't do mother or sister jokes or wife jokes, even though I'm not married, with me. I'll entertain it if you say it with each other and all that, but don't do it with me. I don't do that's not what your mother said or your sister said and stuff like that, because again, I just come from a culture that's different. and literally people over in that culture, it's just not mentioned. So if somebody does mention it, it's not just going to be dealt with as a like a heated moment. No, people could lose their lives over stuff like that. And again, it's just a matter of respect. Those just are dead red lines. So if somebody is pushing out that, hey, GYFM, and they're all GYFM back to you, GYFM back to you. And I know they understand that it's funny. They're not really, like, their intent is not. But for us, it's a resounding no. It's just red from my culture. I just can't do it. And I will never, ever refer to any of you guys as, like, your mothers or your sisters, or for any matter, or your wives or any of that like that, in a very unrespectful manner. I expect the same in return. That's all. So, yeah, I definitely, those are important for me. Those values are very, very important, guys. X squeeze me. Bobby M Investor, aka Run AMC. What up, man? Bobby, you got that appeal and that voice for you. You definitely can be a morning show host. I can see, like, on the View or Today's Show. Like, Bobby, you got a voice for that. Now, what kind of attitude you bring to it, that's up to you, depending on the show. But I'm just letting you know my personal opinion, for whatever it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. Good brother. That's who you are, Bobby. Big B, very well spoken, AB. I'm glad Gary being a sellout was always a thought of mine. He has connection with JPM. They have a new blockchain tech. Gary Gensler taught blockchain tech at MIT many years ago. He did, but his involvement as well was mainly with Goldman Sachs. Just remember, he was an employee there before any connections. I don't know about JP Morgan, but I know Goldman Sachs he definitely worked with prior to this line of work that he's in now. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you totally. I mean, that was my point on that matter. So glad to hear this. I've been here for too long. That's what Jeffrey's saying now. But I just forget out of the money, as if I put it a CD or something, in a CD or something. Well, yeah, I can definitely say I definitely understood all of that, Jeffrey. Shaboom says the half face weirdo. And look at that. Everything obviously is consolidated and still there. Smooth sailing. Let me see. I'm just trying to see if anything is acting unnatural in here. So Mullen it looks like Mullen is ending that few days stretch of earning. But now when I look at the, you guys see this? Well, you guys don't see this. You just hear this, don't you? What an idiot AB is. It's very unclear. I mean, honestly, here's the scary part about the stock. I mean, besides fundamentals and what the company can be, there's like the strongest level of support that I see here is back under $1, believe it or not, even though it's $1.42 right now. That's what I see. As far as where it can go, the next level of resistance technically is well, right now it's 126, but yeah, the next level of resistance is around 148. If it breaks that, then you are looking at, I'm sorry. Yeah, this thing has got many levels, man. Yeah, I'm not going in the trenches. And now it's just now ending that cycle too, that run up. Yeah, that was nothing. That was probably nothing but FTD and FOMO buying. I'm not buying it. Not Mullen is not squeezing as of yet. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion on that matter. Look at that. Despite all the PR, the negative PR, GME is still in the green, obviously. And on the day, it was down just 2.68%. Good stuff. You guys should always also know that with all the fundamentals we have going in this market, that the last thing that it seems to make sense these days is common sense. So, yeah, you got to be taking those things with a grain of salt, because it technically, if it was a terrible earnings, it should be dropping now like like crazy, but it's not. And I feel like the drop happened a few days ago, but it's still, again, technicals and like these fundamentals are not even, they're making it seem like that's what's moving the stocks, but we all know that that's definitely not the case. Many other forces are controlling all that. Arthur Martin is saying, been here for a year. This long drawn out BS has taught me patience, gave me time to learn more about the markets, got to meet so many great folks. I have not come this far to just come this far. I agree with it, Arthur. And by the way, I apologize. I was looking up to see somebody come into my house. So I was looking up, and it made me sound like I was reading it like a fifth grader, the whole comment. Pantheon. 17 months I've been in this, and I will remain here as long as it takes. The juice is worth a squeeze. Pun intended. Juice. Gensler lacks morals. Okay. He still needs a job after he's done. Got to work, guys. Much love. All right, Arthur. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. I see Big B. Who did I see? It just skipped for a second. Okay, and now I went all the way back up. KJW. Sorry, I just seen your name now. Yeah, I went back. And Pantheon, I know before you get on me, you and Jeffrey on this, I did highlight, but then as soon as I clicked on it, it went down and it took the highlight away as well. Brenda, how are you doing? Nice to see you in here. Pantheon is a Disney Channel character ready to be unleashed on HBO Uncut. Come now, giddy. Pantheon, I definitely do agree with Adrian on this one, because I've seen the other side, my friend. Well, not the other side as in like Pantheon has another side for the people that are listening. No, I've like seen or heard or listened to Pantheon off air. So let's just put it that way. It can be HBO ish. AB investment is an absolute. I'm just learning from the best and trying to be anything like any of you guys, and obviously trying to be something or at least anything like you, Pantheon. So I appreciate the beautiful words and the kind compliment. It definitely means a lot to me. So appreciate it, brother. Anyone is lucky to be able to have you as a again, Brenda, uh, I appreciate all those amazing words. Again, you guys are eventually going to get the tears out You know, I couldn't see them come down my eyes, so I had to let them come down my inside my heart. You know, but soon you guys are doing very good, and you might see it start coming down my eyes. You don't want to see that. Maybe you will do it. I don't care what people say. Emotions is not weakness. Strength. The stock whiz. It's strange that there is no run up prior to June 3rd this time around. Makes me wonder if they have found another way to F us. Okay, stock whiz, any of that is possible. You know, I mean, it's all plausible. Like that could be happening, or it could be very well until the last second. No one can confirm that. You don't, like, none of us know really, like, we don't have an itinerary that tells us, okay, you go here to here, and then at that time somebody's going to meet you there, and at that time that's when it's going to do its thing. None of us have that, as far as I know, at least. It Patterns are okay, something that you look at in technicals and in charts, but that doesn't make them a holiday. Okay, what I mean by that, as in, like, you know, federal holidays are something that's it. Everybody's going to be off on that particular day, like Memorial Day. Everybody's going to be off. 3-day weekend. Boom, done deal. This, us running back last June, and the run up happened prior to June 3rd. You know, it just started toward the end of May and carried on into June. That doesn't make it like a subject thing where every, you know, June, end of May to June, we're going to have a run up. You know, it's just different dynamics, different terms, different times. I feel like obviously last time they had a lot more leeway. They had all the money. The markets were in that phrase where everything is amazing. We were all lying to each other, saying, for example, it's like, imagine us being a bunch of people if we were the feds in the market, and we're standing next to each other, and one guy says, I got 20 million in my bank. The other guy is like, and we could all be bullshitting. Sorry for the B word, and the S word, and the ing. So we could, and the next person we get up and like, man, I got 45 million, and then the third person will need to up that and will say, hey, I got 80 million, and then the fourth person will say, I got 150 million. But truthfully, they could all be lying about all that, and they could all, I mean, you know, the $150 million person could possibly have 2 or 3 million, but then again, you know, they exaggerated that number, and they're putting it that way. That's the market, the kind of market we had last year. Everything was exaggerated, over exaggerated. Oh yes, we opened back from a full shutdown. That the world or the economies have never seen globally something like this, where all, guys, economies were not built to ever shut down. Just like life, when somebody passes away, life moves on. Life doesn't stop for anyone, not for you, not for me, right? Not for the past and not for the future, until it's that, you know, that's it, no more, Judgment Day. But that's the kind of year we had last year, when we coming off of something where it was all shut, demand, shortage in food, companies opening up, and their, like, cost on goods are astronomically higher. Everything, in every aspect, everything was derailed. How does it make sense that in that, like, as soon as we open the market back up, you know, normally when you go to a restaurant, you eat, it's followed with a bill, right? You know you're gonna have to pay. There's no, like, you're not gonna go in and, you know, just free, unless I guess, I don't know, you know, the owner of the establishment, and they force it to be the case. But you know, you already expect when you go to purchase something, whether it's food at a restaurant or a shirt that you like in the mall or whatever, you're gonna pay. You expect to pay. We went through a shutdown, and when we opened back up, there was no bill. Like, we know there is a bill. We know that it's very catastrophic and it's very high. But how the markets operated last year was more like the better part of all of 2021, is that, look, this is much better than when we got shut down. Now companies are making sales. Look at that. It's great. Yes, S&P 500 rising. Index funds are like through the roof. Where in reality, we had a lot of crap. And it should have been crap. And perhaps we wouldn't have had or be dealing with a problem of an hyperinflated situation. Like we could have had, obviously, you're going to have downtime, but it's about when you want to deal with it. If it was immediate, the pain is quick. It's good. It's going to take its course, and you move on, and the economy starts building again from scratch. Unfortunately, when you do stuff that the powers or the people that were controlling those events, like repo, reverse repo, pumping money into the economy, launch protection teams, so many factors that factor into this, and making all these things like, kind of like pumping things when they shouldn't be because they're artificially being pumped. Everything's going to collapse down when it does. And we all have so many different catalysts for that, I can easily say this statement right now, and I can be more certain about it. I'm more certain about a crash and a depression on the economy than even my conviction in AMC and GME. And you guys know how strong that is. I'm even more strong and leaning more on a very terrible depression and downtime that we're going to be going through as a result of making things even worse throughout the better part of last year, because they didn't deal with the situation correctly. As soon as we opened back up in that May/June of 2020, that's when all the receipts should have put on the table and said, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. A responsible or governments that care about their citizens and their population would do something like this. I would love for a doctor to come to me and say, listen, I got two things I can tell you here. You can do this, and it's going to hurt you right now like this, or you cannot do this, and it's not going to hurt you, and you don't have to go through no pain, but it's going to be something you're going to risk living with for the rest of your life or whatnot. My mindset is that number one mindset. I'm going to like, no. Let's get this over with. I want to get this over with so that the future can look bright and amazing. And on the other hand, now, the governments have made this future not looking as bright, at least for the people that are not, whether you're in AMC or GME, and I don't know what your conviction is on them, but if you have a very strong conviction on those plays or any of the meme stocks, then you see yourself as you're good no matter what happens as far as that. But the people that are not, which is the overwhelming majority, the millions that are not even in the stock market, what do those people do? They're just going to eat that damn apple. They're going to pick up that tab. Yeah, unfortunately, we got some of those kind of friends where they, go and enjoy everything, and then you pick up the tab. That's the position that they put the overwhelming majority of the public and the citizens to eventually. They're putting them in the position to do something like that and to be in that position and picking up the tab. And people will get bailed out, and the common citizen will pick up the tab. So yes, I definitely feel for them, but how do you fix this? That's not the lane that I'm trying to be in. I definitely can give suggestions. I definitely can build a system, but I'm not in this to do that, or I'm not in that lane. I've spoken about what things that matter to me and I want to deal with immediately. And I just would be happy if I could do any of those, honestly, in life. And, we'll see what the future has in store for us. Adrian is saying, AB, you can speak it, but can you walk like an Egyptian? Adrian, on the Discord, you know what's funny? I know this is a joke, right? But here's the funny thing. Last year, I was actually in Halloween. I was dressed as a pharaoh. So for those of you who want to see that on the Discord, just let me know here, and I'll send it to you on the Discord or something. I'm definitely gonna keep it on the live Discord for everybody to see. Like, what is this? Is this the guy that we're listening to? He definitely looks like Tutankhamun. Maybe investments can also speak to angels now, man. Maybe the baseball team, the Angels, yeah, maybe. Yeah, not the Mets. Not so much with the Nets. But I think we are so close. Stockwiz, I agree with you. I share that sentiment. And again, there's no right or wrong. Even if that's not the case, I made a very clear case in the past 2 hours and a half to you guys and the way that I look at things and how it could be different if you change the way you look at things in life and you subject that into everything in your life, in every aspect in your life. Oh my God, it's just going to be very blissful to you to see that. Because when people look at something as that's it, it's done, it's trash, it's terrible, if you look at it the same, you're not going to see the value. But if you look at anything and you try to search for the value in it, you'll always find value in anything in this life. Anything. Guaranteed. You bring up an example and I'll show you how I can think on it right on top, just top of my head, and I can definitely find some advantages or some good things about it that can be utilized to your advantage. And Pantheon, by the way, kudos to you. And I know Mike J, and Mikey gave you a shout out on Discord for that. But dude, putting all those files, and I just, of course, the first one I download is the lockpick. Because I've been in situations like that where I forgot my key in the car, and then I would have to contact a law officer or whatever, because I'm not going to pay 120, 175 for them to come and jack my window just to get in. But no, police officers can do it. But now recently in Ohio, they changed that law because apparently they were suing people. A lot of people were suing cops for doing that. So therefore they stopped it. Weird, right? It's so stupid. But now I call my AAA. They come in and do that stuff. But yeah, that's the first file I downloaded, was that the files that could be needed to self-sustain yourself in life in general. And I can't wait to read through most of these apps. So big shout out to you, brother. You're not a hidden gem. You're an exposed gem, but it's almost too good to be true because it's so given and it's such an amazing product all in one human that it's so good to be true because you don't see too many or meet too many that are like that, or that are built like that. So I would say, as I always say, men like Pantheon. Jeffrey, we missed you snoring last night. Snuggle bunnies. You said Pantheon said, Adrian, you said walk like an Egyptian. God was talking with me about Shakespeare's sister. Oh my God. Pixie in the Woods, how are you, my friend? Hopefully you're having a great one. As we're inching closer to the next weekend already, because last weekend feels like it was over yesterday. A shorter week. I'm not complaining. In and out. Mrs. Tahiti, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for being here, and hopefully you have the best shifts at work. That is, yeah, of course, Big B. Pam is a legend. uh, so, Big B, listen to this. I've had, I still have, obviously, listen to this, two friends that are, three friends that are Sudanese brothers, okay? When I was in middle school, I still know these guys, by the way. They're men. Two of them are married already as well. But when we were kids and we were in middle school, these guys' father was our coach for the soccer team for the middle school that we were in. Very small program, Nothing like when I went to high school and, you know, the program we had there, we were competing for state every year. Oh my God, that was crazy. I've had so many awards for that too. Um, and if you see AB now, the way you see AB, the way you guys, you know, AB is like humble and all that, let me just warn you, in any sports activity or any competitive activities, I am a completely different individual. And it's unfortunate. I can't control it, but I am mean as heck. Now, I don't go out of my way to demean somebody, but I will talk a lot of shit and a lot of crap, whether it's basketball that we're playing, soccer, anything. I mean, once I tried out for baseball in high school, I made it to the JV team when I was a sophomore. I was like, I'm not playing the sport. JV, me, JV, and I know it doesn't match my personality, and that's why I'm telling you, in sports, I'm not the person you know. Obviously, I'm not a piece of crap that goes out of his way to demean people. No, I'm just saying when people try to do something, I make it my personal uh, objective to take you out, like take you out completely. I will talk shit, and oh my God, I will go for the jugular. But again, that's just the sports side of AB. So, anyways, my friends, all three of them, their father was our coach in middle school, and unfortunately, he had I forgot what it was. I think it was brain cancer, I think, and he passed away, and they were all young still. Okay, now, like I said, now they're all grown men, and they have a sister as well, so grown woman. All amazing family, right? They're all Sudanese. I'll just say this: some of the purest hearts you will ever meet on this planet, I've come across personally. One, either are um, Yemen, Yemenis people, and that's not. It shouldn't even be something that phases you because look what they're going through. Like you know um, Sudanese people, and I'm not going to go now on a. Obviously, every place, every territory, every country, every region has good and bad, but any most of the people I met from either Sudan or Yemen in my personal life have been extremely pure heart people, like pure. And I'm talking about the overwhelming majority of that region. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the Sudanese brothers and sisters. One of them is still here. The youngest brother of all of them, he's still here, and he plays for. In fact, no, he just finished playing for the University of Cincinnati. He played soccer for them. He just went to that MLS draft, but I don't know if he got drafted or if he went on as a walk on or like a free agent somewhere. So I don't know. No common sense until Moas. I like it, Adrian. I just don't get the cucumber and the nose. AB, do you have any remaining wishes left in that lamp, bro? Oh man, after you know, I don't have any wishes because I already know financially, whether good or bad, that's just transitory. Oh my God, I just finally gave Pal and Yellen a perfect place to put the word transitory. It definitely doesn't go with the inflation we're going through because definitely that was not transitory. But your financial situation in life is always transitory, whether for the best, for the worst. It's always going to change. Money come and go. But I mentioned earlier, once a brother goes, you can't replace him. Once a sister goes, you can't replace her. Once a mother goes, you can't replace her. Once a father goes, you can't replace him. So I might sound like a corny person by saying like literally my wishes is to have all those intermediate individuals alive with me. Um, I don't know. I might sound a little selfish, but until I go out first, because I can't stand it with me having to live without them being a part of it. So just answering that, Adrian. Didn't mean to take it all up deep, you know, and weird. Rantheon. Rantheon radio. Well, first it's either I mean, for the most part, you got Randall. He'll speak, speak, speak. Very bright guy. You know, I love the guy so far. Uh, and for the most part, I know what he's about now just from holding a couple of conversations with the guy. So I know what his agenda is, and I know he's a great individual, like personally. Like I know that he doesn't mean any ill will to anybody. So that's a plus. That's great, man. And we can only continue to learn from each other. Um, but yeah, you can't say Rantheon without saying well, Randall as well. So it's for both. Both have. If actually that's your point, Adrian, isn't it? That is the Ran and Pantheon rattle show. Jay Portagi, the legend, is in the house. How are you, my friend? Love the Rockets. Thanks for the sentiment. How's everyone else, Portagi? I don't know if you've kept up with McCown and with Christy and Sanjay. I remember those guys very briefly, of course, but yeah, hopefully everything is going great with them. If you're in touch with any of them, please, you know, tell them to come and show some love, and uh, so we could catch up. Oh my God, no, we have to do a lot of change into that, Adrian. I don't know about the Cowboys. I know Jeffrey would agree with you on that. But yeah, no Cowboys here. It's all it's all about the cheeseheads. So Green Bay all the way. No Astros for sure, except the YouTuber. So if you're talking about that, then yeah, that's a little more acceptable. But this is Dodger Stadium. The Spurs, I know nobody grew up saying, "I want to be like Duncan," you know, or Tony Parker. Don't get me wrong, they're legends. Of course, legends. I'm not making fun of them or trash talking them, but I'm a Laker, so this is a purple and gold. As you can see, the outlines around everywhere. They're purple and gold. If you can't see them, it's because you're colorblind. But everything's purple and gold in life. I love Adrian. um, AB is a soccer hooligan with a pint of lager and a hookah at his disposal. Yeah, dude, man, no, that the days were the days. But when injuries come and obviously age follows with it, it's different now. It's completely different, and responsibilities and all that stuff. But whew, only if you witnessed it, my friend. But I'm not far away. I caught up with all you guys. Look at that. We did it. Cucumber. Yeah, autocorrect, Adrian, or auto scroll in my case. Randtheon. There you go, Adrian. Randtheon. Tell dog. Appreciate. Later. Maybe I'm still in the wolf pack, so I'll let them know. Okay, Jeffrey. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. I want all these people to come through. We met all of them, and they've been great people. I've never seen anything crazy from them, so therefore, I would like to catch up with them again. Oh, Palestinian. Maybe we have to play Turnip together. You know what's funny is I have this partner, right? Particular partner too. I play with anybody in Turnip, but I have this particular partner. We literally have never lost in Turnip. Literally, me and this guy. It's just crazy how we both, as a team, it's crazy how like we'll the minimum call at almost every game or every turn, and we don't cheat. I'll just put it that way. We're not cheating. We don't have signals or any of that. Is the minimum is always going to be 9 and above, and out of 13 that's a lot, and there's no 12, so we know if you have 12 or more you have to call kaboot. Oh man, it gets down and ugly, and you're talking about on a weekend basis. A lot of people want to take that title from us, but me and this guy are in that game in Tarnib is unbelievable. In hand, again, depending on how you play it, whether team or individually, it's all different. But yeah, I'm down to play Tarnib. I used to play on this online Tarnib.com. That theta, that's what they called them. And it's so funny how they make all that sound like they're smacking the card, like they're about to win. But obviously, it's all programmed, so it's not as fun. You need the people. You need, especially when you play with older guys, like older people, they take pride in their card games. Okay, that's what I guess life comes down to at that point. So, I love beating older people. Like I love this because it gets personal for them, and that's all they do. So it's like you're beating someone who's really good at what they do. The Spurs are beloved in the Philippines. Yeah, just ask Tony Parker. So let's see, take a glance. Since 7:30, what's happening here? I'm gonna let everybody go. Obviously, at this point, I don't want to take more of your time, but as we can see, GM is not really affected. Neither is AMC by what's happening. Again, guys, don't be look like. Obviously, I'll never tell you any of you guys to what to do, what not to do. But if there's many, if you're waiting like moment to moment or day to day with this, uh, I would say keep one thing in the back of your head. When this starts, it will definitely start literally like out of nowhere, and it will be very aggressive and fast. And like, not that it will be fast as in like, oh, it's over within an hour. No, 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 that's not what I mean. As in like, it will take course, and next thing you know, you like your reality sets in, and it has to set in quick, because that's just how it's going to happen. Um, so don't think that if you're not seeing it right now, that means, oh, the third is pointless or whatnot. No, no, definitely not. Uh, you definitely cannot like count out anything until the final bell or even the after hours, till 8 o'clock of every day. That's when it's we know for a fact that okay, today was not the squeeze, as far as for that day, and every day is different. uh, I love Eva Mendes. Who doesn't? uh, Hold on, Eva Mendes or Longoria? Because Tom, I mean, either way you're good. Either way you're good, I think. All right, let's see. Anybody have any questions about the market or anything else? Whatever the question, obviously, uh, go ahead, please fire it up, because I will go ahead and do the honors and say, have a obviously great night and goodbye till next time. But I'll do it in a different manner. Another success, again, 3 hours that went by that again, not even 1 minute was felt about it. Uh, I'm thinking like, should I get a nap or not? Because the problem is, look at the time. It's almost 8 o'clock. If I take a nap, that means I'm not sleeping until 2 days from now, just because of the time. Because I know I'm not going to sleep at night. I don't sleep at night anyways, um, which is something they say. They say a man or woman that don't sleep at night are normally exercising their demons. They're like battling their demons, and there's a lot of truth to that. But If the demons are afraid of you, then what do you say to that kind of man, huh? I ain't got no demons. Brendan and Ella's Fun Adventures. How are you doing, Brendan? The coiler is back and it's getting hot in here. Hopefully, you're not sitting on it. I honestly appreciate and love all of you guys. As I can see, also, I don't have, you know, what is that? Sorry, I was looking at something and I saw my uncle have sent me something from overseas. So I was like, oh, what? So okay, I lost my train of thought. What I was saying, yeah, I love all of you guys as obviously as always, and you guys, oh my god, you guys like are amazing. I'm so very fortunate that I stumbled up onto you guys. I guess that wasn't coinciding. That was more of a fate, and it was just waiting to happen. So this destiny was fulfilled in this case. So now in this scenario, we're all, you know, family. But yeah, I don't think I can go to sleep, guys. I think I'm gonna have to thug this out throughout the night and possibly pass out this morning at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I'm just looking forward, like ahead, planning right now. If you're just walking in right now, I'm just planning my will I get my sleep. I think I'll sleep sometime tomorrow, 8 in the morning. Well, tonight, 8 in the morning. Um, and sleep almost all market tomorrow off because I know even if the squeeze starts, it's not going to end. I'll definitely be awake. Um, yeah, probably wake up around 4 or 5 p.m. tomorrow. Get my 8 or 7 hours. AB when HBO uncut. Well, you know, AB is always ready for the uncut and the HBO version. I'm not a different person, obviously, here or there. You know that. Yeah, we have a little more leeway on what we say to who we're saying it. But, you know, it's the sentiment, the overall sentiment is going to be the same, you know. I was this AB here, and I'm going to be this AB there. And I'm definitely humbled, and I love the fact that I have all. Again, I can run out of words, guys, really describing how I feel about, uh, you know, being here with you guys, and obviously having a family like all of you guys. As you can see, it's here, after, before. We're stuck with each other, guys. Well, I'm stuck with you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it uh, for a long time, even post MOS. Mr. Nickel, how are you doing? Welcome in here. Stacia said, take 45-minute nap. See, that's the problem. If I take a 45-minute nap, like I'll like it when I get up from it from the alarm. I'll still be so sleepy and I'll go back to sleep. And next thing you know, I'll find myself like up again at around 12 o'clock at night. Literally, that's when I will wake up, like at 11 or 12. And at that point, good luck putting me to sleep even the next day at 11 or 11 in the morning, or even through, I mean, I might go throughout the whole next day until the next 48 hours. So yeah, I can't have that. No, I'll thug it out. I don't care. I'll go around, I'll go outside, shoot around on the rim because I can't run. So I'll shoot around some hoops, soak the day in, um, drink some, you know, coffee, a bunch of coffee, a bunch of tea, mint tea. Actually, I'll have some mint tea. Today outside is a lot, very warm and it's hot, but there's a little breeze, which is really cool. I got a whole sitting outside. Um, so yeah, I might go and get some fresh cut mints and put them in the pot, and obviously brew some fresh mint tea. And I know that's something that you personally, Stacia, I know that you love mints and mint tea. So you're always invited. Big B, do you know if there are opportunities in Sudan? There are always opportunities, brother. Always, everywhere. I mean, you got to remember, it depends on how you look at it. Whether you look at it from a big perspective, a smaller, like, retail, smaller perspective, there's always opportunities everywhere, especially in those countries where there is, like splits, because, now you have North Sudan and you have South Sudan. But especially in countries where everything is, the infrastructure is not solid, you're going to have, well, a lot of injustice happening left and right here and there, but it also paves way for a lot of opportunities. You see what I'm saying? So you can't discount the fact that Sudan is on the Nile as well, so it shares its fair share of that. Um, the people there are just cut out different, man, in a good way, like literally. Again, it just depends on which part and what are your interests, and then you can see what value you want out of it. I mean, again, you speak Arabic. Egypt is on your other side of the border. You both share the Nile. Hey, after Moas, brother, uh, look, what do these regions around you in that continent, even in Africa, but let's say Egypt, which is the closest, what do they need the most? What do your people, the Sudanese people, need the most? Right? What do the US here needs that Sudan provides, like as far as a natural resource or a fruit, a food item, anything. Just search all that. And if there's a lack of it in here, guess what? The conditions of the market that we're heading in, like the depression that we're heading toward and the recession that we're heading toward, those things are one, they're already an import. Two, now they're even more rare to come by. So if you make it available, I don't need to tell you the rest, right? Um, it's again, it's how you look at things and how you view them and how you go about them that ultimately determines what kind of pie or what kind of slice you cut off the pie in life. Cactus Jack Bang Bang. Bangs, oh my god, I don't know why, but it's like the sweetest one I think I liked is that cotton candy one. But the problem is with all these, because I somehow I was able to incorporate soda or carbonated drinks out of my life like a while ago, long, like years ago. Now when I drink like a Bang or something, like literally I would tear up because I'm not used to it. And the same time, even if I try to, drink as much as possible, I will only be able to drink like half of it, and I can't finish the rest. That's it. It's crazy, right? I'll definitely drink. Like I enjoy fresh squeezed juices. That's why like Jamba Juice. Unfortunately, there's no Jamba Juice in Cincinnati, right? Like the closest one from here is in Louisville, Kentucky, which is an hour and a half away. By the way, Louisville, Kentucky is another Cincinnati. It's like an industrial city, same shit. But Fourth Street Live, like that area, Fourth Street Live. If you're ever in Louisville, just here, AB is helping you with other stuff. Fourth Street Live. Just remember that. Even though Muhammad Ali was from there, the legend, or KFC, this franchise came to us from Louisville. Trust me, Fourth Street Live is the way to be. Um, and if you're a bourbon or uh, a bourbon lover, then obviously in the South, the down South here in Louisville, in other regions, that's where you have it. Whether also in Tennessee, down in Knoxville, or Nashville, yeah, all that kind of stuff. But Fourth Street Live in Louisville, you'll love that place. No way they banned Bang in the Cali, and they didn't ban it in Cincinnati. How many of them do you need over there, Tell Dog? You know, if you got the money, I'm the plug. I can be your connect. I send you all the bangs you want. uh, Adrian, give me a beat. Boom. Ray. Tell Doug, you said like, hi Randall. I literally thought he was in here too, and I was like, what? Tidish. Boom. AB, you must go to Egypt with me, so we could get the best sugarcane juice in the world, straight from stick pressed in front of you. Yeah, okay. So I've tried that, Big B. And by the way, you're correct. Here's the crazy part. If you've never, if you're listening to what I just said and what Big B posted, it is the craziest and funniest process ever. The machine that he's talking about is like the size of a room, literally. And in one end, there's this small hole like this. And I'm not talking about what you're thinking, but that's where the stick, the sugarcane stick goes. And oh my God. And one thing about the sugarcane juice or squeeze, you have to drink it ASAP, because as time progresses, it starts turning darker and darker and darker. And when it goes obviously all black, you don't want it anymore. So its beauty is when it's still fresh. I've tried it. I didn't think anything crazy of it. Like, I like it, but nothing too crazy. It's just not my kind of like I must have this. Like, here's one thing I definitely enjoy: orange juice, of course. OJ, minus the Simpson, is one of my favorites. Lemon juice, lemon, and I don't add sugar to it, so it's got to be sour as it comes. I love that stuff. Sometimes orange and lemon mixed together, citrusy. Oh my God. Um, yeah, all these kind of things. There are some cocktails that you put together, like strawberries with bananas, and then they mix in with some milk and some walnuts and stuff like that. It just gets perfect, but I love that stuff. How about cucumber, mint, and lime water? Oh yeah, Stacia, that's like almost like every other day, if not every day, kind of thing. I have this big jug of, we call it that, fruit infused water. I use that actually in one of my businesses in the hookah bar. We bring big glass jars, the presentable, similar to the ones you see at VIP tables in the clubs. Those pitchers of water. So I use those, and I will fill them with like blueberries, mints, slices of orange, different things. Even sometimes throw in a couple of grapes in there, poke the grape and throw them in there, just have them float in there. And people, obviously, when they come in to the business, they would basically have that, and they'll be able to share that with their guests. So socially, it was great. They have the hookah, they have the water, they got everything they need. Unless they came in hungry, they could always order food. And we had some food items that were ready, because I had this convention oven that I was able to get it on auction, which was like $8,000-9,000 for that conviction oven. And I was able, since it was commercial graded, not regularly ones. The commercial graded ones are way more expensive because they can last much longer and take the beating. So that was there, dude. We were throwing anything in there. Pizzas. I would get one of those distributors to come and deliver me like huge cases of personal size pizzas, whether they were this, or that. And if a customer hungry late night, you're already in the hookah, you don't want to wait 45 minutes to an hour for an order, you can easily say, hey, odds are, what are you going to order? Pizza, wings, fries, and things like that, of that nature. So we were offering that. Now, eventually, I was hoping in the future I would do something like authentic foods and cooking. But here's the problem. I've realized that, as obviously I got a little bit older and older and older, is that retail in general was not something I wanted to continue in as I get older. Because in one thing we overlook sometimes is that your views on things are like this right now. But are your views on that particular same thing 10 years or 5 years from now going to be the same? They could very well be the same, but you might have, a few tweaks here and there to it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So I did want to be in business and all that stuff, but when I got to it, and with the years passing on, and I'm getting older and older with as time progressing, keeps progressing. I want to step away from retail. I want to grow, and my dream is to be a conglomerate in something, but the benefits of it, I want it to outweigh many people's and touch many people's lives, rather than just mine, because again, I am an entity. I get pleased as I see pleasure all around me. So if people are happy and people are pleased, and I can't be in the same space of someone who's like, like this, or upset or crying or whatever the case may be, and just, let's keep it moving, let's keep it pushing. I would go out of my way, and almost into an annoying way, to try to make it better, for that individual, because again, I just view things differently. Like I know what it feels like to be down. I just don't want to, as much as possible. I don't want to see any others, down in life. And it's a different realm. That's all in one realm. And to see the people that are starving to death, dying of sickness, things of that nature, or casualties being caught in unjust wars amongst stupid officials and governments that can't come to terms, whatever, in any zone, in any area, that's a different realm. Like, I don't even want to start on that, because it's definitely going to end with me being very extremely emotional, and obviously very tearful one, because um, and even that is not doing it justice, because who's going to feed these people from their hunger, from going, like, from dying of hunger? Who's going to give the medicine to those people who are dying because of sickness, that the the antidote to these sicknesses are out there? In many first world countries, they're like firsthand, like you can possibly even find them over the counter. And in many other countries out there, in many regions, they don't even have access to that. So count your blessings, guys. That's why I said, anything you look at, if you see it from the prospects, or like the way that I was explaining to you guys, or what I'm telling you, like how I view life, when you see it from all those lenses, you would learn to appreciate everything in front of you. Why? And it eventually comes back to the first source, which is you. You will appreciate your daily life. Just waking up in the morning, you'll definitely appreciate it. I know nobody wants to die, at least as far as when I met the ones I met. Um, but people take life for granted as well. Like every day you wake up, that's your first blessing. And if you capitalize on that, in that mindset, with that mindset, and approach the world in that mindset, you'll see how you will continue to reap the benefits, of having a mindset like that, or being an individual like that. Doesn't matter what field you're in this life, whatever business you're in, whatever the case may be. I love my Republic of Texas. Uh-oh. Adrian is talking about splits. I ain't part of that. Yeah, so yes, Stacia, sorry, I gave you like too much and rambled about it, because it was like it brought another story out. But yeah, hell yeah, I'm down for that. Those are like, those are a must. So I have, like, even in the house now, that is a big one, and I have like a bunch of ice in it, water, and then a lot of cut up, fruits in it, whether cucumbers, berries, mints, and orange. Sometimes even after I finish eating watermelon, after I cut it, I actually put the juice of the watermelon in the, drink. Man, cucumber, mint, and lime water. That sounds really refreshing right now. And it's very dehydrating, and it's good for the skin too. I know I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to that stuff, but I know a little bit here and there. Did I just hear that right? Yeah, Pantheon. I know what part you're talking about because it sounded like that when, like, I couldn't see it being a setup, but it sounded like that as soon as I was saying it. Like, yeah, that does not sound right. I'm not gonna read that, Adrian. Yep, tell dog. 10 to 4. You're an OJ type man. Not the Simpson, yeah, but I am an OJ type of man. Yes. Now I want to know. Mango lassi? Oh yeah, I love mango lassi. My only thing with mango lassi is it has a lot of yogurt in it, which is not a bad thing. But it's just, again, if you're watching out for sugars and carbs and stuff like that, then uh, yeah, that if you're incorporating a certain diet, you want to make sure you remember what you're adding in there. But the real one, yeah, is delicious. There is ruhavza as well. That's from an Indian culture perspective. Ruhavza is this. It's kind of like a rose water. It's reddish, and they mix it with water, and it's a summer beverage. It should be a summer, like that's what it's designed as. That's what I learned, at least from the Indian or the Pakistani cultures, and the Bengali cultures as well, is that they would use that, called ruhavza, Rohfaz, just so you guys can pronounce it in your heads, like ruhavza. It could be obviously different spelling for sure, but I'm just trying to pronounce it for you guys. So ruhavza is a summer drink because it actually does cool your system down. So people drink it because in those areas, the sun heat. If we think we're hot here, you don't even understand what it's like over there, in certain spots. So they put ice, they put that, they add water to it, they mix it together. You even need to add sugar because it's a sweet, concentrate already, and the rest is history. It is really good stuff, and it does cool you down too. The stick goes in. Adrian. Sugar cane juice is popular and cheap in Colombia. Yeah. Are you sure that's what you were in Colombia for, Adrian? Or that's the only thing that is cheap in Colombia? It's like sangria minus the wine. You got that, Pablo. Okay, that's correct. Where did I go? Okay. It is. I know you said it's a serious question, Adrian. It is. Yes, it is a non-alcoholic. Yes, Bloody Mary. Yes, it is called the Virgin Mary. Yes, and you could use the word virgin also in other ones. So as far as what I've seen, it's like you could say, I want a virgin mojito. I know it's gonna be like that. The bartender is gonna look at you all funny, but again, that's something that they would understand. They know just the word virgin means alcoholic free. What is it that you can order? It's like with what is that water? It's like tonic water with Sprite or something, and it's also something virgin. I forgot about it, but yeah. Future will. I feel like our government is purposely trying to push us to do something stupid. They need to realize that we're not gonna pick up pitchforks. Uh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's also not in their best interests. I personally think. Um, for the stuff like that, because obviously that becomes more of a situation of, like you can see that in third world countries, and it's like, okay, it works. And I know we've had many, kind of like movements that almost resulted in a revolution. Some did and result in a revolution, but it's not gonna like, okay, here's the thing, hear this out, guys. What does it look like? Even if, let's say there's 7 millions of us, okay? Let's just say there's 7, not 4 or 3 or 5, who knows? Let's say there's 8. I know that's a big number, but when the press is labeling us as the people who are trying, the 8 million that are trying to ruin the other 200 or 300 something million in the country, that 8 automatically have 2 enemies at that point. You have the the institutional enemy, and you have the public enemy. Your public enemy number 1 now, which is the agenda that we're watching and we're seeing every day when the King Griffins and the articles and the news channels and the Kramers, when they all are always talking about the retail is who's taking people's pension money, destroying good companies and ending dreams on Wall Street and whatnot and all that BS. When it becomes that big, what do you think? The other 300 million are the problem more so than the system, because the system is actually labeling us with something. And on top of that, what they're doing, what's so insidious about it, is that they're labeling us. Not only are we taking advantage of these companies and the system and ruining the system and the companies, but on top of that, we're taking away that other 300 or the other 400 million people in the, and this is just US speaking. We didn't even go outside, venture out, which we it's even worse there. And you're labeled in the other 400 million individuals or citizens, you are labeled as the person who's trying to rob their money. So when you go outside, your first objective at that point, or for the ones that do even think that we're going to pick up pitchforks and whatnot, and I know you're not saying that, future, but for the ones that do think that way, they're going to be met with a more rude awakening than they think, because they're coming out, they're speaking for the common citizen and saying, yes, support us, the governments are screwing us. The other side, the other 400 million are going to be like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I always felt like the government is fucking us. Sorry for the F word. But then again, here comes our side, our 8 million, and we go in. But in order for us to take what's ours, they they have done so much effery in the process, to the point where now the whole country's finances are tied up to this kind of crap. It shouldn't have been tied up to it, but it is, because they chose to make it that way. Good luck explaining this over to those people who are not even in the stock market at all, and telling them, yeah, come share your voice with me and air your sentiment out, and let's go out into the city's public area or gathering or whatever, the town hall, whatever it is, and do our thing, and okay, at the end of the day, you're going to come out with a loss too, because you're going to lose your pension and you're going to lose all this if we succeed at this movement. You know what the other side is going to say? That's if they start, again, none of this is going to work the way that I'm saying it, but I'm just giving you the idea that the other side is going to look at you as, I don't want you to succeed. I understand that the systems have wronged you, but not on my expense. Sorry, we don't care about what happens to you. So at the end of the day, yes, we are on our own, and that's if we are 8 million. Again, I do think there's a big possibility that it could be true, but again, whether it's 4, whether it's 8, whether it's 2, whether it's 1, we bought up the float. That's all that matters. I don't care now, and like you said, we're not going to pick up the pitchforks and all that. The ones that do that, they do that. Again, you do you, I do me. If that gets the job done, all to you. If it doesn't get the job done, I have nothing to do with that, because again, it goes to the same. It goes to the very same conversation of, if somebody hits you, do you hit them back? Everybody's going to have a different answer. Most people are going to say, yeah, I'm going to hit back. But many are going to tell you, well, the law's got to take its course. You hit me, I'm going to go ahead and sue you. Or I'm going to call the police on you, and they take care of that. Again, everybody's different. Everybody's cut out different. So in this case, for me, I would choose that route. I know they've been wronging me. I know what they're doing. Even they know what they're doing. Even they know that we know what they're doing to us. The only person now that it's kind of like a movie where all the institutions are characters in that movie, and we are characters in that movie, and the viewer are the non-investors, are all the show people, or people who are going to the movies to watch the movie, who are not investors. So at the end of the day, who's the judge? The viewers, the non-investors, the people who are not investing in the stock market. Do you care what their judgment is? It's not going to be good for you, because the judgment is going to be bad for me and you, because they're going to say, we don't like corruption, but it's not going to come, the fix is not going to come on our expense. And they're going to speak rightfully so as well. So we have a right. They have a right. One of us have to give up or sacrifice their right. Which one is it going to be? I know that my right is very solid. Like, it's rightfully mine. I paid for this and I should get this. You did too. So we are very right. And they are very right too. They actually even have, like, if you want to think real about it, they should be even more conviction to why they shouldn't be hurt, because they're not even a part of this madness. At least you and I, and obviously all of you guys, when I'm saying this, you and I, we're a part of this, and we stand to gain if something was to happen in our favor. That side is losing either way, which is the general public. That's what I'm referring to as that side. They're losing either way. The economy recession is coming regardless. And guess what? If they're poor, they just got effed. And if they're barely making it and they're just getting by, this was the blow that basically took them off the edge, and they're going to fall right into the pits of hell because of that, of economy and in the world, in life. So keep those things in the back of your heads. I mean, good thing you brought that out, Future Well, because for the ones that think they're going to go out with pitchforks or even whatever, pens, swords, guns, whatever they want to go with, knives, butter knives. I have a crazy story about that. But yeah, like whatever it is that they want to choose to go with, these people are going to be met with a rude awakening that they are not mentally prepared for or never saw coming, unless they just heard this. Because again, you have to look at it, like I said, from every perspective. You're going to go out like us, and we're going to cry out, wolf, hey, the government is screwing us. The other side is going to hear it, the non-investors. They're like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what you're yelling about, but they're definitely screwing us. I've been saying that for years, man. But once they know what the other side or what the government is airing out to them, or I don't want to say the government, because again, I'm not a revolutionist here. What the other side is paying to air out to them, as far as the press, when that side hears that stuff, they're going to be like, okay, so if these guys succeed, that means I'm screwed. My life is going to be screwed financially. Well, I don't, you know what? Please, God, if you're listening to me, yeah, make sure that these people get screwed. I know it's wrong, because they deserve not to get screwed. They did everything right. It's not like they're stealing. But when it comes to my expense, it's me before everyone else. That's just how human nature is. And by the way, Future Whale, again, like, I know that you're not like, saying that's what you're going to do, or and I know you're correct. And the reason why that's why I said it's good that you brought this up, because there are people out there that are going to do this, but those are the people that refused to understand the play work with the play, stay within the play, understand the limits of the play, and know where it's going to go, have their convictions in the plan and in the market, made a very educated statement or step forward in their life as far as investing. Ahead of time, they already knew that they were going to possibly go through all this. If they didn't put this as far as part of the package, that means this whole thing was done wrong from the get-go. You should always put the unknown and factor that in, into your statement. Because again, it's just like every project. For example, Pantheon, we could use you in this. When you go and build, and I know you were an architect, and that's why most of the times you speak about it. When you go about a project and you guys go in assessments and you say this is going to cost us $5 million, I understand professionally you will have to make it $5 million, but does it always really average out to $5 million? Like, I know when I had any of my businesses, I thought of everything in the opening time frame, everything ahead of time. Oh, this is this much for screws, this much for employ, like for the first 6 months, take care of the rent and the lease. This for all the products, this inventory, this for that. And as much as you put on paper, when it comes to it, some things would just come out of nowhere and like, oh, well, you got to factor that in now. So you always have to have an extra added dynamic to something that you don't know. You just know that there's something that you're going to come up short on. So therefore, you just do what you got to do. That's just part of the equation. The way I see it, that's just part of the equation. There are going to be many things that you don't know of that will come along when you're starting something. So same thing with this scenario. So like I said, future, I don't think you are saying any of that. Maybe price aside, flavor and enjoyment wise, what is the best coffee slash froth? So Adrian, like you ask, like, are you saying what's the best coffee region or where it comes from or roast? Maybe price aside, flavor and enjoyment wise, what is the best coffee broth? Again, if you're a true fan of coffee, Adrian, you're gonna love coffee from everywhere. Like if you go to Italy and you just take a shot of espresso, yeah, my friend, it's just gonna be it's that kind of thing. If you know, you know. Same thing with Greece. Greek, you know what's funny? Greek coffee, Turkish coffee, Arabic coffee, it is literally almost the same, if not this exactly the same. It's just maybe the some add cardamom to it and some don't. And the reason why each one has the same coffee, but they name their country on it or they brand it for their culture, is because if you go back in time, in that region, there was man always had someone in that region had to have control over the rest of the region. So when it was the Greeks, or even when it was the Greeks, that's what they took. Like, so no one, like, I honestly can't come here and tell you that this Jordanian coffee is absolutely like originated in Jordan. Yeah, the makers making it in Jordan now, but which culture absolutely picks up the tab on that and said, we are the people that originally created this? No one can give you. The Turks will tell you Turkish coffee, right? Go have Turkish coffee and go have Jordanian coffee. You're going to be like, well, this is the same. But the reason why is, think back politically now. If Turkey, and it did at some point, was colonizing Jordan, would you think after you get the colonizers out, do you think it will be wise for Jordanians to still call an item Turkish coffee or anything Turkish? No, those were your colonizers. Why would you name it anything after them? So they name it their own. Same thing with Greek. They'll have Greek coffee. They won't have something called like Egyptian coffee or Turkish coffee. Even, and again, that's because all that stuff happened back then amongst all these cultures, even though a lot of the foods and a lot of the drinks are literally almost the same in the Mediterranean. Um, so yeah, just a fun fact on the side. We were supposed to finish. Stone Cold Stunners for all. Dun. Rock bottoms. Uh-oh. I need to have an armband so I could just start yanking it out and, and then throw it out. Can you imagine what kind of, like, how, like, this is crazy. That kind of stuff back then was like huge, huge for us. Do you think that the people nowadays are like all the young kids nowadays, they get entertained by that stuff? Like that showmanship and what they do. I wonder. You got a future. Pantheon. Okay, there you go. Pantheon's answering the question. Every one of my projects came in under budget. That can't be said for all projects. If clients expand the scope, then we require change orders. See, if you have a stipulated sum and you bid low, then that's your problem. I never did that. I'm not allergic to making money. That's a good thing. That's a good thing you're not allergic, my friend. My fault, bro. Best roast in region. Okay. Um, it's going to be very tough, Adrian. It really depends on your taste buds. It's going to be very tough because the coffee realm has literally, like, there's a big chart that they use. And one day, maybe post MOAS, I can meet up with the family and we could all go. Like, this is something that is worth having like, not a project, but a field trip to, like something that you spend a day or a week on, depending on how more you want to dive into it. But imagine going to any of these coffee farms, whether in Guatemala, Honduras, anywhere. Um, and you go to that farm and they would have their accommodations because they're used to that in that world, as far as like you sleep in there, being there, go with a bunch of people, everybody lives on that coffee. You will see how they harvest, how they pick the coffee beans, how they wash them, how they clean them, and how they package them up to distribute them, how they even roast them. Every roaster has a different touch as well too. Even after you learn roasting coffee, which is a good field, by the way, because it's a necessary thing, for the world. So there was always going to be a job for a roaster. Remember that. But each person has a different touch at the end of the day. So really, it comes down to your thing. There's many taste buds. There's a full chart, like I said, that tells you everything. There's a little hint of citrusy. There is hints of some tastes of things that are just bold. Again, it's up to you. It's just up to you when it comes to that. And if you really care, and if your foot gets touches the door, or if you have one leg in, you know the saying, one leg in is legs in, one leg out is two legs out. So all right, my dear brothers and sisters and family members, I know I said this like 40 minutes, 30 minutes ago, and now I'm saying it again, but this is how it is. Family, times are great and they're not felt and you don't feel them. I appreciate and love all of you guys. You guys just have no idea, seriously, how many times I say it over and over again. You still, even that is an understatement of what it means to me. Much love to all of you guys, to the family. Uh, and, Pantheon, it's great always have you in here, brother. Hopefully next time I can definitely have this whole I did connect the Discord over to YouTube, but I have not the voice channels, whatever. I'll get that fixed out and figured out, and maybe I can chime in with any of you guys for some help to try to connect that. One thing I definitely do need to learn is that restream software and stuff, because I really do need to start doing some screen sharing and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm just so, when it comes to that part of this business, I am so behind, and I know. So I'm sorry. I apologize to all of you guys on that, on my shortcomings, but I vow that, you know, it's only hopefully going to get better with time. Much love to you guys. Thank you so much. You too as well, Mikey, Jay. Thank you so much. Hopefully I catch you later on. And I thought that that was a French word. Everyone have a great day. We are on this together. um, thank you, Adrian. That's exactly how I feel about it. And literally, like, you mess with my family, you mess with me. And you mess with me, you mess with my family. And that's just my take on it on life. Stacia, thank you so much. And again, guys, Pabloco, once again, or yet again, much love, AB Investments. StreamYard, I got you, Adrian. Can I hit the like on the way out? Yes, I did. Thanks, guys.